2020, it immediately went to hit exponential, which actually is one of the reasons as to why we saw that rate of change in the January 2021 squeeze. And also, so that the other part behind that also is that same date. What also makes it really peculiar is that it also hit an absolute min. The value hit like $3 and change. I mean, pre-split, and that value was only hit prior back in like 2005. I mean, it hit the absolute min of decades worth of data. And so, I mean, it's really, really improbable that not only would there be an immediate change in behavior from a linear shift to an exponential, but also the value at which it occurred. In regards to the time frame, though, I mean, one thing I've been noticing is that the overall trends of the share price seem to operate in group in about every 3 to 4 years. Like for some odd reason, like more or less, I should say. I haven't been on the computer for a little bit, but their overall the overall behavior and data shifts that pretty consistently. And so that's one reason as to why I think it's a matter of time, because I mean, not only because previous behaviors have things like shown that, but also because of just what we're seeing right now. Essentially, it's like we're operating in this piecewise function that is being controlled or dominated or manipulated by various like if-then situations or max-mins or other type of control loops or feedback loops. And so, as a result, though, basically, like what's happening is like once all those if-then loops or kind of 404 or all the priority conditions are failed, that's where every single time we see when the data or the behavior of the data kind of changes or whatsoever. And so that's just because like there were so many previous catalysts that happened in the past. Like there were so many, and there were so many that were so significant, and yet we saw no relationship or influence of that event on the GameStop share price. And so to me, that would indicate that there is a disgusting amount of manipulation to the extent that any that retail has no influence whatsoever on the share price, because if we were, we would see it more apparently. We would not see, we would see it be more apparent. One of the reasons this would be more apparent is that while people are continuing to DRS and people are continually buying more and more shares, that in theory would cause the sideways trading days to be non-existent. We would not have this consistent a value stuck between a specific range for months on end, and being that overall type behavior being shown for like years. And so that's one thing I take into, I believe is that because you see no human intervention or any type of human influence on the data, it means that something is overpowering the shit out of it. I personally think that the SA is in the thousands for multiple different reasons. So if you have 1,000 times that short interest, there's it's what we're buying right now would arguably be very minute in comparison.
Right. So let's talk about that in a way. Okay. So I never get lost in the fact that people, any investor believes that SI is well beyond what's reported. Right. I can't go that high. I can't say thousands, can't say hundreds. I can only say what's reported, me personally. But what I look at, and I just want to remind the mass amounts of people that actually end up watching these videos or coming to these Spaces calls, are the institutions and or whomever, they're not in charge of that stock price. I know that's what people think because they're looking at it in a small window of time, but these windows of time are opportunity. Consumers are in charge. Consumers actually move these markets. If you are buying or selling, and I don't care about the sales themselves, the stock themselves, I'm talking if you're buying at the store, if you're pushing the peak of actual money being spent at GameStop, that's going to trump whatever they do on these markets. That's why I tell you, what we do off the market is one thing, but Pone, what I'm also saying is this. There's a 300% increase on ETFs that hold stocks in the S&P 500 versus Russell 1000 and 2K. 1000 and 2K are virtually the same. That's why there was minimal movement. The only thing that happened was it dried up on the stock. So I'm not one to just rule out everything, when it comes to GameStop, be like, oh, you can't treat it like those other stocks. But I can look at it and say to this, show me different once you get into the S&P 500. If we get there and then it does nothing, well, guess what's going to do something? Consumers are going to do something because they're going to see that investors are pouring in, that the logos look different or the partnerships are announced. All the catalysts that you see in front of you, all these announcements, will come into play on the consumer side. And the investment side will follow suit. When they see the world coming, that's when they'll come. So it's just a matter of adopting the masses and telling them what's happening. But you got to remember where we're at. We're in the biggest bear trap about to happen tomorrow. In my mind, I think it's going to be killer this week coming up. I think that they sold off so many puts that they literally are going to be trapped next week. So then that'll start forming a gamma of some kind, not just for GameStop. I'm talking about for their collateral, right? For whatever sector you're tracking. That's how I look at the market. So when you say thousands and thousands of GameStop, you can believe that. I don't have a problem dealing with that. I've gone down that road before, but I use a lot of energy looking up those stats and looking at charts and trying to gauge where it's at. And I don't want to do it that way. I just rather just push out the info for the company. But I totally respect where you're coming from because I know you've done the homework on it. But it's just not where I put my energy, like to daydream about that.
Hey guys, sorry, phone. Real quick. I had before the call come up with a few different topics to touch on, and let me just read out kind of my outline, and if none of those really bite, then we can keep discussing. But just real quick, let me know what you think. I know Marantz, a lot about the general economy, central banks around the world are in trouble, and want to talk about the Australian Central Bank for a second, the housing market crash, diversification, DCA type of advice. The next thing because I feel everyone doesn't know how to DCA.
Sure.
And or how much perhaps percentage wise, a paycheck or something. Next thing was obviously the FTX US partnership.
Yep.
I signed up for an account with them, and I DCA'd into some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Also want to talk about the mass adoption of microtransactions and how will this work with GameStop and some of the FTX. What does their they're regulated, so what does that mean for us? Also wanted to bring up the whole thing with Apple, how they're blocking NFT farms and they want a 30% cut of all NFTs, and so that's a huge mess. There's also I tweeted earlier, DRS projections taken from Superstonk. Forgot to credit that nice person. So I tweeted that. So yeah, there's so much coming up as far as the future of GameStop. There's obviously the gaming part, the esports part. That's $100 billion plus worth. There's something going on with Sushi Swap. I'm not sure how that ties into FTX. I don't know anything about that part.
Okay.
But yeah, and also the PFOF and how that might affect GameStop if SEC isn't going to do anything about that. So I have a lot of different topics. I just wrote these up. But if anything like that appeals, I was we'll just let Marantz take this in whatever direction. But then I can come in and prod. You're the expert, but no, I
got you.
Yeah,
you do well on that.
Floating around.
You do well on that. So the first thing I want to touch on, and first I just want to welcome everybody back, guys. And just to make this announcement to you guys, Dizzy and I have been very busy in our personal lives, and in addition to keeping up with Twitter and the stock market, everything, we've done these shows before. I believe this is our fourth one. Am I correct on that, Dizzy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this is our fourth Dizzy and Marantz show. We come from two totally different sectors, spectrums of the world. It's Uber left, Uber right. I don't want to say Uber, that's not right, but just we do see different viewpoints. We have a different vantage point of this world, and then how to invest. What's our common ground? Well, our common thread has been GameStop, which is great, and then of course respect. So I respect everyone who comes into the space. So as you guys are here, we literally will let everyone say what they want to say. Whether you want to bash on me, bash on Dizzy, bash on a stock, I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you want to use your energy that way, we will talk it out. We will get it out. But we will not talk over you. We'll give you the floor. So if anyone at any time wants to step up here and talk, they can. We don't frown upon that. Even if you say something that we don't agree with, we're not going to stop you or mute you or do any of the above. So I just want to put that out there. The next disclosure I'm going to put out to you guys is welcome back to Marantz Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. You are live on Twitter and on YouTube at the same time. So if you guys ever want to know where these Spaces calls are, we do put them online. They are there on Marantz Rantz on the YouTube channel. But you'll get the gist of it here in depth. Dizzy has a couple of good topics. Dizzy, if you don't mind, out of all the stuff you started on, I want to start on with the housing market. Is that fair?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so housing, guys. I know everyone wants to invest in this economy, and I know that the Fed increased rates this past week, and with doing so, the housing market actually touched 6.25%, which is not the highest of all time. I remember I bought a house right after I got out of the military at around 7.5%. And guess what, guys? It can get worse, and it's not going to get any better. But the thing is this, it takes time for it to reflect upon you. So there's about, I would tell you, 90% of house deals right now on the market, whether they're in escrow or not, they already locked in their rates. So they've locked in previous rates. They're not worried about the current rate when it gets inflated like this. So you got to let about 45 days play out before it actually hits your pocket. So you're going to see people trying to press and race to get the house on the market. Plenty of people right now. So you might see a little bit more open houses. You might see the inventory picking up, but the price points have to reflect that. All deals at this moment in time that are considered are usually cash deals. You're not going to get into an ARM. You're not looking for an FHA. You're just not, because it's so hard to predict where the market's going in the next 45 days. Well, what we know is there's one more meeting or two more meetings for the Fed until the end of the year, and chances are they're going to be a 75 basis points increase. If it is 0.75, you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel it from the bank side, not from the consumer side so much. You guys might think everything's okay. Unless you're living off of credit cards, then you're going to think it's not. So just housing in general, understand it's coming within about 45 days. It's kind of like oil. I compare it to oil. I say if oil increases in price, does not necessarily mean that at the service station it goes up that day. It takes about 25 to 45 days to reach the service station, whatever the price of oil is, to reflect. That's just the way it's always been. And in this case, in the housing market, you're going to see people final out those cash deals. And why are they cash deals? Because people are moving out of San Francisco, Portland, LA. They're selling their houses at huge rates and coming down south and or going east, and they're getting more bang for their buck. That's what's happening right now in this place. And if you're an investor, right? Let's say I'm in the housing market and I'm an investor. That's the only people that are getting crippled, because they look for margins based off of that interest rate. That's how they see it. So they'll stop buying real soon once these rates lock up, and then they'll just say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for another 6 months. I'm going to wait for another, half a year, whatever, 2 years. I'm sorry. So as that time frame passes, you will see that portion of the market get dry. Banks won't have any money at that point, because that's the only way banks are making money these days. They're not doing personal loans. Wells Fargo tied off personal loans at $2,000 about a year ago. So it's not happening like that right now. So I just want people to be aware of what's happening to the economy and the housing side of it. That's just one vantage point that I have. I mean, I'm sure people want to have input on this, and I don't mind. But the Fed is setting you one direction, and that's because Jerome Powell, who has denied, he's been like a year behind every decision, guys. He finally decided to say, we're going to be hawkish, right? We're going to come out here, we're going to kill these interest rates, we're going to go high. And he could have did that a year ago. We could have took it on the chin a year ago, and he didn't. He lied because he wanted to get reelected, in my opinion, of course. Getting reelected and reassigned to it is just you are now the fall guy, because instead of trying to fight off inflation, when you increase rates, that's what you're doing. You're now going to start fighting off recession. You're going to be slipping into one of the crew. It's an equilibrium. It's like a hard balance to have. If you're going to fight off inflation, it's going to cost you something. And at this point, we will slip into a recession, which most of us already agree we're already in. It's just until somebody announces that we are. But you would tell you, are you in a bear market? Absolutely. So be ready for the bear trap this week, by the way, Dizzy. I don't invest that way. Like, I don't go try to guess the markets and where they're going. I never have. I buy long. You guys know this if you guys have paid attention to the show long enough. But in this case, if you think this is the bottom, this is not the bottom. And I'm not scared. I don't want to scare anybody. I just want you to be prepared for it, because if you're buying, this is like the best time to buy, right? Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I actually increased my 401k, and I had been down on my 401k for the last year and a half, 2 years actually. 1%, 2% of my check. You were asking how much should we be putting in? DCA, daily cost average on any stock that you want to get into. Like if I had 20 grand on GameStop, am I going to go tomorrow and buy 20 grand? No, I'm not. What I really do, guys, and I know this sounds crazy, I buy 1 share a day. And do I buy more than that at times? Sure. Whenever I see a really good price that I like when I saw it at $23, $22, I'm like salivating. I'm like, I need it. But I buy 1 share a day. It's like routine. At the end of the year, you're gonna have 250 shares. There's 250 trading days essentially, and then whatever else you put in, right? Like bonuses or excess money that you have at the end of the month. I end up having 1,000 shares this year, easy. I'm talking about easy. I'm not even trying hard, and we already put in the big chunk at the beginning of this whole deal. So dollar cost average coming down that way, and just to roll that conversation with you, Diz, I know that you had a big buy-in this past month. Couple of 2 big buy-ins, even the last of your severance pay. That just shows you the belief that we have in what we're doing. Me personally, I have a bonus coming. I don't mind sharing this with you guys. It's on Friday, this coming Friday right now. And I anticipate walking in and saying, all right, let me get 100 shares of this really quick. And is that a lot? To some people, it's not. To me, it is, only because of what I average per day. But I'll go ahead and take the bite depending on where it's at in price. Right? I don't have to, though. I could literally walk up the street and just go 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day, and keep that going and get 10 a week. And there's 52 weeks, and that's 500 shares this year. And I'll see you next year, and then you're going to be like, well, what the hell? How many shares do you have? It adds up after a while, guys. And I know a lot of you guys, I'm reading the chart right here. Actually, I'm reading the message. Stacks says, hey, if they keep this up, I'm going to have triple the amount that I had when I first started. I think everyone already has done that a couple of times. If not, they're finding ways to get there. So I know I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm gonna give people a chance to talk. EA, how you doing, EA?
I'm good, man. Glad hearing you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. I just want to say good morning, good evening, and all the good stuff. I'm currently watching football while I'm talking to you guys, but there's nothing Cowboys aren't on today, so I'd rather hang out with Dizzy all day. That's just the way it goes on. But shout out to Mom Spaghetti. How you doing, Mom Spaghetti? These guys aren't ready.
No, sorry, no.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sunday, rainy Sunday, so I'm just hanging out with you guys. Wanted to play some tennis, but it's pouring rain.
Oh yeah, no, tennis. What a terrible sport to play. Hey, Dizzy, check this out. Growing up, I was in the military and I dated this girl, and she was a tennis player. And I was like uber athletic, like when I was like growing up, right? Like when I was younger. I'm still athletic, whatever. But she goes, hey, let's go play tennis. First date, right? Let's go play tennis. And there I was, hitting the ball out the damn tennis racket, because I didn't know how to hold the racket or nothing. I was trying to do what I see on TV. That shit doesn't work. Tennis is one of the hardest sports next to water polo and golf. I mean, tennis is a terrible sport to play. You're going to ruin your day playing that, Mon Spaghetti. But that's just my own personal opinion. But it's good. And I also see...
Marantz.
Yes, ma'am.
Marantz, there was a guy, like 15 years ago. I'm old. And he wanted to play squash on a date. I'm like, okay. It was kind of like an unofficial date.
Hey, hold on, Dizzy. He wasn't talking about the sport, babe. All right, go ahead. You want to squash? All right, good. Go ahead.
Anyway, I knew it wasn't gonna work out with him, so I lasted maybe like 5 minutes in the squash court, and I could not hit anything. So the ball is coming at me, and I can play badminton really well. I think I have good hand-eye coordination, but the squash, the way it was just. I was so terrible. I felt really bad about myself. I'm like, I should be able to impress this person.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah, I don't know. You're it's like tennis, but you're hitting a ball to the wall. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds like racquetball. I don't know.
Okay, I think squash is the European term. I don't know.
But
I'm terrible at it.
It's all good. Well, welcome back, guys. Back to Dizzy's sporting event here. Her first date. That didn't go too well. That guy's probably a really nice guy. Probably give him a second chance. Anyway, guys, what's the next topic that you have for me, Diz? Go for it. Well, FTX? Is that one?
Well, before that, you'd mentioned my severance pay, right?
Oh yeah, go for it.
And turns
turns out I forgot I have like a couple other paychecks I didn't account for that are coming up. I'm like, oh, this is great. So awesome. Anyway, okay, regarding the housing market crash, like I heard like a weird thing someone say, like, you know, if housing market doubled recently, especially over
18 months.
Yeah, like, you know, if a crash happens, like, people are thinking it's only going to be limited to 10 or 20%. Well, they're in for a pretty bad surprise, you know. So are you sure, like, it's like the best time to buy now? Like, I wonder if people get better prices later. Again, I'm not in the housing market. Like, it's too expensive for me to get into where I live. So I'm actually like a pretty happy renter at like my current place.
You know, some people don't understand that. Some people don't understand that the American dream is not what they used to think it was, right? That it was housing and, you know, a white picket fence. This is what it's. I love the people who rent because they probably understand the market better than most. Or chances are some people, like I'll give you this example. My wife and I, we just recently bought a home, right, this year, and we got a great deal compared to. And I'll give you an example. I got the house for $150,000 below what they're selling for right now and what they were asking for then. So they're still selling at that price, but I got it for $150 below. So instant equity, right? Like the banks love this stuff, and that's what they call, and they're like, are you willing to refinance? I mean, I've only been in it for X amount of months, and you're just like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would I? And for what rate? The rate's the same. I mean, the rate's a little bit higher, but even then, I mean, but you can have access to this equity. And then I thought about it. I was like, $150,000. I mean, how much GameStop could I buy with that? Like, I can take a second out. I could do something, right? But no, I don't want to complicate my life, and I don't want to overextend myself because it goes against everything that I've ever agreed with. You know, what we're doing. You getting a couple of checks your way, I'd tell you, I'd tuck them away. I wouldn't spend them because chances are GameStop is going to get attacked this whole year. And I know people don't want to hear that. There's people out here that want to see GameStop boom tomorrow. I want to see it too. Trust me. We've been in it long enough. But if we're in it long enough to say, I don't want to worry about it, I don't want to think like I'm missing something. Like we used to have people, and you could have been one, if not, who were afraid to transfer. By the way, DRS. Remind me, we're going to talk about that. But we used to have people that were afraid to transfer brokers because they thought that the MOASS was going to happen during the transfer. Like they were like, I can't wait 2 days. And now look at you. You'll be like, man, I'll send those shares to DRS, and I'll wait 2 weeks to get the piece of mail, and I'll do that. Like they don't care. Nobody cares. And you're willing to wait forever. So me worrying about whatever's going to happen in the moment, I'm not spending my money that way. I'm just not. I literally am trying to live in this bullshit economy. Thank you. That I'm living in, and it's no one's fault, I guess. But I gotta wait for wars to end. I gotta wait for elections to end. We got 49 days until elections, the midterms. So I'm living this life. I really am, and I'm living it with you. So am I buying GameStop? Sure, but am I buying anything else? Not really. I'm sitting on my hands right now. I'm gonna wait for this market to bottom out. I think it's gonna keep coming down. That's just my honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just from whether it's like, you know, the thumbnails you see on news or YouTube or whatever, like the market is all about feelings and sentiment, right? It really is. So, yeah, it seems like it has a ways to go. Okay, I have a friend right now who's vacationing in Bali, Indonesia. Okay, this guy, he's here at one of the big tech companies. Yeah. And he has like the GME ticker on like his lock screen of his phone because he's thinking MOASS is going to happen while he's in Bali and he doesn't want to miss it. I'm like, no, you go do your 90-minute massage.
That's not going to matter.
And you go enjoy your 12-course dinner, yo. Like
90-minute massage. I don't know what you're doing in Bali for 90 minutes, but you know that's the halfway point to Australia. I'm just telling you. Like if you ever want to get to Australia, you got to go to that airport. It's basically like that. Like you gotta, like if you're leaving Australia, they make you pit stop right there most of the time. But anyway, they treat it like Dallas. But I will tell you this, though. Like, people are talking right now in my chat. They're putting in that there's updates coming out about AMC, GME. Like, you want to talk about, like, sediment and stuff like that, where the idea is that stocks are so manipulated that that's the reason to invest. And that'll never be me. Like, I can't do it that way. And that's what people are afraid of. People are afraid of that these markets are that manipulated and that if it were to go up in price, that no one would want to pay you and they wouldn't pay you out. And I just don't live in that fear. And the fear is that they're forcing or they're putting it upon people to DRS, right? Have I DRS, Disney? Yes. Just so everybody knows, the other day I DRS 50 more shares. Not 50, 50 more. Okay? Is that a lot? No. To some people it's not. To me it is, only because I don't like to touch them. I like to leave them right where they're at. But when I called Fidelity, I didn't just get it like via the voicemail thing, like you can do the assist, you know? I actually called them and I forced them to talk to me. And I said, hey, listen, I want the last in, first out, or I want the first in, last out type deal. So I wanted my 50 shares going, but I want it to be the 50 newest shares that I have. I want my senior shares, my long shares, to stay in Fidelity. And that's what I did. So I took the last 50 trading days, basically, of shares. So it's been like a month and a half, or 2 months almost, of buying shares. And I took that and I put it over there. So anybody ever want to gauge it?
They don't do that. They don't do that automatically for you as a.
I don't know. I wanted to make sure. Sure because I don't want my taxes to come out on if I were to ever make a move in my position for whatever reason, right? Let's say my wife lost her job and I lost a leg or something and I needed the money. I don't want to hurt myself even further and tax myself on what I have in Fidelity, because that's the fastest, easiest way for me to get it, just in my own head, the way I sell off. So that's what I did. But all these guys out here telling you that this market is ridiculous and that we should be afraid, but I'm not, man. I'm the most fearless guy out there. That's just the way I've been living this life right now. So, but I'm happy to do it with you. What's up, James?
It's James. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a real estate guy. So
Yeah.
so I want to touch on real estate for a little bit, real quick. So in my opinion, it's just there's so many moving parts, right? You got California, high rates, right? People moving out of New York, like you said, California, going to Florida, different parts of the like Texas, Florida, South Carolina. I just know that a lot of people are moving. They can't afford the high rates, the crime. There's so many different things that are going on right now. I think where it's very hard to, no one can really figure out real estate, but the rates are going up, right? We haven't hit the bottom. To me, it's just common sense. You're going to know when you hit the bottom, when you go to the banks and they're closed. Because I remember 1996, 95, when I was buying the properties, and I was buying houses for $115,000. I was buying triple deckers, and my interest rate was 7.25%. We're almost at 7.25% right now. And then the rates started going down to 98, 99, 2000, and the houses were going up. That was before in the 80s and the early 90s with the crash. So my advice, not financial advice, but this is talking about real estate. For anybody that wants to invest in real estate, this is how I look at it. I would personally, like if you look at a really rich area in California, if you look at a rich area in Texas, Florida, New York, Boston, you always want to go like around the perimeter of that area, because that area is going to eventually go up in value, right? And then you always want to buy like a 2-family or a 3-family if you can, right? And always want to buy like a fixer-upper, because your equity is the key, right? So if you buy a house that's like $600,000, you could find a deal for like $500,000, and you can fix that up yourself. Like when money's on the line, you'll do anything. Like everyone's like, James, how could you afford like $150,000? What happens if your boiler goes? What happens if the water heater goes? What happens if the ceiling? Like if I listen to everybody, I'd be locked up in a basement somewhere. So basically, I took the initiative. I bought a 3-family, bought another 3-family, bought another, and I just kept on buying. But what I will tell you is this, ready? What I've noticed from 1997 on is I noticed that a lot of people that I know, multi-millionaires that just picked up those houses in 2008, 2009. One guy picked up 15, one guy picked up 30 houses. So the unfair advantage that I want to stress to this group, which I really feel bad for, is the people that have money actually make out on a market that tanks. And the people that don't have money don't really make it, right, in this economy. The part that I really want to see, I know people that own properties don't want to hear this, I actually kind of want to see the housing come down to where everyone can actually afford a piece of property, because I think the house, like I think to myself, how can my house that I bought at 115 grand be over? Like my house in Boston is worth 1.6 million dollars, and I paid 150 for it. Another like. I say to myself, how are these properties that much that I only bought them not so long ago? It's overinflated. And I'm saying to myself, well, why is it overinflated, right? So you keep asking yourself all these questions, right? I'm for everybody, right? I'm like, people ask me for advice on, James, should I buy? Where should I buy? I give them the areas where to buy. Don't ever go into a one family. If you have like a really good job, take on the risk. But like if you have a mortgage that's like $2,000, $3,000, and you're on a one family, you always want other people to help you out pay for the rent. But overall, in the real estate market, I would love to see, because I know everyone keeps talking. I talked to loan officers. Oh, James, I'm going to see a 10%, 15% drop. There's no supply in Boston. What are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not talking about anything, but I do know that there's so many moving parts that you could see a drop to over 30% in the real estate market. I kind of want to hope it does drop. I don't care if my property drops either, because I'm only paying taxes on it, but I only want it to drop so it gives everyone more ambition to go out and buy a home, to have that American dream. But right now, there is no American dream, right? They even increased, I don't want to keep talking and going on and on, but you know how like the 40-year mortgage came into effect? It used to be a 30, right? Now it's a 40-year fixed rate. But I will tell you this, you will know when the bottom hits, because if you remember 2008, you remember there was a lot of other variables that happened before 2008 that people don't talk about. They think it's just the real estate market, but you will know when the banks won't. You can knock on the door and they won't even answer anybody unless you have cash. But I'm hoping that the real estate market does come down, and that people can afford, because I think these prices are outrageous. And if you look at it, one other thing, if you look at a $1 million house, you're not going to see it drop as much. You will see the market from, I'm looking at houses anywhere from 650 to 550, 450, 475, in that range, teetering down a little. But you're not going to see a house that goes for a million, million and a half drop down, because those are the ones that stay on the market the longest. Those are the ones that take the hardest to sell, unless you get someone that goes for the foreclose. But I think the real estate market will drop. Everyone's saying 20. I talked to a guy, he said, James, you're nuts. I said, no, I actually believe this is like a global problem, not just here in America. This is with Europe, China. I think that you're going to see over 30%. I'm waiting. I'm on the sidelines. And I just hope that the average person listening to this will benefit from the real estate market. And as you know, that the market is going down tremendously. Do I think the market's going to keep going down the way people think it is? If you look at these stocks, too, look where they were. Look at their all-time highs. I mean, I just look at Roku, for example. Roku was at 300, 400. Look how much that sounds at $59, $60, $61. I'm thinking, how much more can you really bring that down? So, I mean, there's certain stocks that have come down a little. I don't think GameStop is going to come down as much as people think it's going to come down. I think there's going to be like a flat level where it's just going to sit there and just go up and down, up and down. There's going to be a catalyst. I don't think it's going to be the DRS. I don't think it's going to be the housing market. I think there's going to be some fucking fluke that just happens. You wake up one morning, you're like, holy shit. And I think all these over-leveraged hedge funds, no matter how much control you might think they have of manipulation, the manipulation will end, in my opinion, not financial advice, because the collateral is going down, 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 down. You just can't keep borrowing borrowing. You just can't keep doing it.
James, you're right.
It's not sustainable.
No, but you hit it right on the money. So here's what it is. As these markets fall down, okay, whatever they're invested in, whether it be real estate or short positions, like a lot of them are, the marginal collateral requirement that they've been having against any said short position. I'm not just talking GameStop, but the market itself. As it crashes down, their collateral goes down with it. Therefore, if you buy and hold, holy shit, you can hit the moon. And that's anybody. That's any stock. I don't care what they hold. And that's if you're on the right side of it, though, too. I mean, I have a firm belief that they're using certain things to manipulate people. You know, HYMC is like one of my cases of pump and dump beyond belief. I don't think anyone has disputed that. Anyone could never go the other way with that. But the propaganda that's in front of you is getting ready for this market crash. And if the market comes down the way it can, and let's say Pome's right about thousands and thousands of SI, well, shit, dude, I'm sitting on the right side of it. I'm sitting on the best side of it. I could never say that out loud. I don't invest for SI, for those reasons. But to make me feel warm and fuzzy inside, I look at what GameStop's partnerships are, like the FTX partnership, where they're going to do microtransactions. That's the way WAGMI Defense wants to make money. That's the way a lot of these guys want to make money. And all they're doing is, when you partner up with a crypto exchange, the way I see it, you guys can call me wrong all right now, the way I see it is, all these games that are built, any game you have ever had, right? Let's just say I play Fortnite, and I load up money, and I want to have some, what do they call them, V-Bucks, right? That's what they call them, V-Bucks. I go ahead and get some V-Bucks. At that point, they're gone. They're stuck in there. I can't get them off my damn PlayStation. You can't suck them back out. You can't off-ramp them. But what FTX and that relationship could do for us is allow us to off-ramp whatever we buy, because it's based off of crypto. It's based off of a blockchain. So whatever game, and they can select any DAO they want. They can select ApeCoin, they can select ETH, they can select LRC, they can select, you name it, IMX, any token they want. Eventually, you're going to have an exchange that harnesses every single type of crypto. And if that's the partnership for gaming side, well, then GameStop figured this shit out a long time ago. They picked the right guys. FTX is bigger than Coinbase. They're bigger than Robinhood. They're bigger than all of them. They do house their own crypto, but at the same time, they can decentralize it. They can get it out from you. They can give it to you in your cold wallet and let you off-ramp it and then on-ramp it the same way. So I think FTX is the right partnership. I think it's gonna pay dividend, like flat out. I don't mean pay dividends, but the benefit to you. The benefits are there. And then in moving forward, I mean, if you had cash, guys, let's just say you have cash, right? How do I get cryptocurrency with cash? Anybody. Other than going to one of these fake crypto machines and connecting to them, I can go to GameStop and buy the gift cards there. And in turn, buy that gift card then gives me value for whatever game I'm playing. That's why FTX gift cards are connected to the gaming world coming forward, in my mind. I remember I used to have to go buy WoW little cards to play, right? I had to load up WoW time, and it would be monthly passes, 30-day passes. And I would go buy them with cash or whatever, right? Turning in my cans and getting money back because I didn't have a card at the time, or whatever reason you want to buy cash. Well, guess what? Now you can, and you can play those games in crypto, in the crypto world, in the Web 3.0 world, and that's how they can connect. So we have the cash line filled out. We know how to get it there. We have the credit side filled out because you have the GameStop wallet, and then you have crypto. If you already have crypto, we have a way to get it over to us. So there's these three different ways to draw money from that partnership, and that partnership would be the catalyst for me, because once you see it go live and then they explain, hey, well, here's how we make our money. Look at this partnership of microtransactions of billions of dollars from video games, from whatever app we're using via GameStop or whomever, IMX. These partnerships are going to connect. I can connect the dots. I just don't know if anyone else can. And but Wall Street, I think, is way ahead, and I think it's not a secret anymore. I think a lot of people know what's happening. They just don't know how to stop it. So certain people, like Dizzy was talking about, Apple is putting and leveraging a tax. They have a levy. They have a tax there. And they're going to put a 20 to 30% tax on these games on the front of NFT, on an NFT front type style. And I would tell you, not only that, Dizzy, I don't know if you saw, there's an Apple Arcade where they charge $45 a year for gaming on Apple products. It's brand new.
Oh, no.
It's brand new. It's $45 a year, and you can game on Apple. No commercials, no advertising, just games. But they have no value to you because you don't get to really play them with people. It's like playing games offline type style. But there's no ads. It's about 200 games that you get to play, and it's $45 a year. So I think Apple is trying to get what they can out of this, right? This new frontier that we're building. But I think they didn't hire for it. I think that's the difference. I think they didn't hire for it.
So there's this big tech guy out here in Silicon Valley called Robert Scoble. And he was saying how basically NFTs would compete with Apple Pay. And so it's in Apple's interest to try to kill off the technology by, making it really difficult for NFT firms to survive on the App Store, which is crazy.
Yeah. So, if that's the only platform that we can load up, and if that's what's holding up this partnership that we have, then guess what? We have nothing but time, because there's a crypto winter that we're still stuck in. Nothing's coming on the positive side of that. So I'm not just going to be a negative Nancy on that, but I will ask if anyone's in the chat that wants to come up and talk about why they think their stock is so spectacular. If there is one outside of GameStop, I'm waiting to see, because our team is doing something different. I watched a video this morning that I lost about 10 brain cells, and I only have about 12. So I lost them all watching Kaiz Malej talk about Bed Bath & Beyond now in their don't call him my friend, please.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I got you. But just because he said they have this fulfillment center they're building, and he said the address or whatever, and I'm like, so it's 1 million square footage, and it's within arm's reach of the one that GameStop just built. Why would GameStop partner up with Bed Bath & Beyond to have another $1 million, another square footage building within the same vicinity? So I started doing my homework on fulfillment centers. I don't know if people do this homework, but I was reading up on them and why they buy them where they buy them. So in Pennsylvania, Zulily is the first one that started buying, and then Chewy, and it's all followed the same path, okay? So it was Zulily first, then Chewy, then GameStop. And that's been the route they're doing. What they're doing, they do Nevada, Pennsylvania, and they'll even do Minnesota coming up, and Texas. But the way they do them is to space out and create a web in America first. And that's what's been happening. And they know the right places to do it, because there's less taxes, and there's the land is cheap, the buildings are cheap, the rentals are cheap. And that's why everyone's in Pennsylvania. That's why because that's the cheapest place to go, with being close to New York. Being in Nevada, northwest Nevada, is the closest place you can be on the West Coast for a cheap price. We know Nevada's a lot cheaper than California would ever be, and whatever regulations California has. And they don't just stick it on the docks. They actually have it in these fulfillment centers that are like, huge factories, right? And if you guys have ever been to a fulfillment center, there's a picker, there's people there, and what the pickers is they'll get a list, and it'll be a forklift driver, and he'll just drive around and start putting all these pallets into a truck. And his list is whatever somebody bought, and they already have it all mapped out. It's crazy how the system works, but it's billions of dollars worth of equipment and software to run your company the right way. And I think they perfected it when they did it with Chewy. They perfected it when they did it with Zulily. And the reason why I say Zulily and then Chewy is because people have to know who Mark Vadden is. And if you don't know who that is, please do your homework, guys. He is the actual individual who's mentoring Ryan Cohen and Ryan Cohen's ascent to being the next everything. So,
Rantz, I do want to I want to just backtrack just 1 second with the collateral, because I think this is very, very big, especially what's going on with the economy, right? So everyone's like, oh, the bear trap, it's going to come down, right? So for me personally, when I looked at GameStop in particular, right? Do you remember when the girl said, YOLO, let's just crash the economy? Think about, I think you got a critical thing and say, why would, who's behind that? Which, there's a DD on it. Who made that comment? Why was Jim Cramer in the thing, in the flick, right? And just, blaming retail for, crashing the economy. So, and then they said, well, when the retail sell, if retail gives up on whatever meme stock you're in, I don't want to mention them all, right?
Right.
Let's say all retail sells, right? 5 million, 10 million, who knows what it is, right? And then the market can get back to where it wants to get back. But because retail is holding on to GameStop or whatever it is, right, it's causing all these shorts to hold on to a fucking rope that they can't let go because they're trapped. So when the collateral comes down, right, to me, it's look, I'm not book smart. I'm just more common sense. I think it's just, right, when the collateral comes down, right, think about it, right, no matter what type of connections I may have, if I'm a multi-billionaire, it doesn't matter. When the collateral comes down and retail's fucking gobbling up these shares at 24, 23, 22, you can't, it's not sustainable. So in my opinion, there could be some catastrophic event in fucking Europe that all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and say, holy shit, and you, the reported short interest, I'm with Palm with this. Look, I'm not tinfoilish, but I think the market's so fucking heavily manipulated. And I kind of think it's a good thing that this actually ended up happening, because we're going to get fairer markets when GameStop crashes the market, in my opinion, on financial advice, because it's just the greed overtook Wall Street. The greed overtook. It's so there's so many nice people in this world, but there's a lot of fucking evil people that do shit, right? Hey, Tommy, come over here. I know a fucking system. We can rehypothecate. We can do this. I'll give you a cut. You come onto my show. We'll go on MSNBC talking to Jim Cramer. Slip him $100 bill. He takes care of me. I take care of him. We write the articles. We blast Ryan Cohen. We connect the guy from the fucking building to Ryan Cohen. It's all fucking in the thesis. It's all coming true, right? The point I'm trying to make is, right, I don't give a fuck what happens to the market, right? I want it to tank. I really do. Because I want this shit exposed, right? I want these greedy fucking rich people that are taking retail's money all these years, my mother's money, my father's money, and everyone that went fucking crazy in 2008 that lost everything, and all these cycles that there should be every 10 years there should be a cycle, but because of retail, the COVID, and just buying all the stocks up and the memes, I mean, look at cost, look at GameStop 483, and all these other stocks that just. Now, can you imagine all these other tickers? You'd be like, wow, I was talking to that guy James on a space call. Holy shit, look at this one. It's going crazy. Look at that one. You're going to see all these things. Sure, it's going to be like fucking fireworks going off, right? But I'm just holding GameStop only. But you will see all these other tickers going off, too. You'd be like, holy shit, have I known that? Because they're fucking swapping everything, and the whole market's being fucking manipulated, right? You can say, well, Jim, what's your proof? It's common sense.
I'm going to tell you right now, James. I'm going to let EA talk right now, but I will say this to you.
Yeah.
I don't go in circles like that where I'm trying to explain why the market's manipulated or it's not. I will tell you this. There are ways that these guys are making money, and they're making it every day by manipulating and or manufacturing outcomes, but that's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do.
They make money on the volatility, yeah.
Right, but there's no way for a short hedge fund to make money other than to manipulate and manufacture. There's nothing. Whether they short the stock and then they tank it and sell it off and then buy back in, that in turn is manipulating and manufacturing. There's no different. That's exactly what they're going to do. So I don't need to explain it and to the point where I'm like, yo, do you guys understand what's happening right now? I will just say this. Well, I won't say anything yet. I'm going to let EA talk because he's waited for long enough. EA, go ahead. You got the floor, brother.
Hey, guys. So, how do I disclose this? Well, I've been hated before for rejecting the MOASS theory. And because of that, I got called shield, got banned from subreddits, lots of times. But just hear me out when I say this. If I have a company, let's say, if I'm a director or something of that level, and Dizzy is also a director, and Marantz is a director, and James is a director, right? When we receive shares, we have a lockout period, which Ryan Cohen had for a while, and insiders had. That's why they weren't able to sell for that time being. But during that time, if you want, you can legally purchase shares with your own money on the side, on your own brokerage account. There's no rejection on buying. The rejection is on the lockout period for selling. So that people don't sell, take money, and leave company. So that it's in the best benefit of the company, not just their pocket. That's why these rules exist. And my only reason behind this MOASS theory is only this, is that if I'm an insider and if I have the real information in terms of the short interest and whatnot, I would fucking load up on my cash, with my cash on the side. I would load up so much that I know that it's going to blow up, so then I'm just going to keep buying. But the insiders in GameStop haven't been purchasing except for Ryan Cohen's big $1 million or $10 million purchase, and since then, he hasn't been adding either. So to say that there's a MOASS, I couldn't accept it, because insiders with data, if they don't believe that theory and if they're not adding, I don't know why a retail like me should believe in it. But besides that, that's my point. Thanks.
All right, I'll address that. One, more than just Ryan bought in, right? I mean, Larry bought in, Alan Adel bought in, everybody bought in at that moment in time. But we don't know anyone's personal finances. We don't know their other investments. I was so intrigued to find out that they were on the board of directors with Dragonfly, like how that came about. The fact that he took his own personal funds and bought into Bed Bath & Beyond, millions of dollars, right? We're not just talking about $5, $2, $3. A lot of billionaires and millionaires are not necessarily liquid. They have value in their shares, and it doesn't mean that they actually have cash to burn like you would think or like you would say. And they're living a life. And what's their risk tolerance? It's not mine to announce. But your way of thinking is kind of flawed, and I'll explain. Ryan Cohen already has $1.3 billion worth of shares right now. I mean, how much more did you want him to rock? You know, you want him to rock his whole life? You want him to YOLO and post it?
If I know it's going to MOASS and the price is going to be $3,000, $2,000, $5,000, you know, I may as well go sell my kidney and buy in, you know.
Right, but what is at what cost, though? Right, at what cost? So you go all in, and now you sit here and you wait for what to happen. You know,
I mean,
nothing.
MOASS theory, right?
No, MOASS theory is this. At what point is it going to happen? Maybe they have maybe they have the knowledge that, hey, it can't happen right now. It'll happen in a year or two. Once our announcements come out, once these partnerships work out, once we're in the S&P 500, there's all these different catalysts that could be happening in real time. It's not over. The movie may have been out right now on Netflix, coming out next week, but it's not over for people that are in it. Certainly not for myself. I'm in this stock forever, and it's because I'm not here for tomorrow. I'm not here for that theory. I'm here for the company itself and the fundamentals of what it is. You could never know how much money someone has unless you're married to them, and even then you probably won't know. But it's tough to give off the idea that he should sell all his Apple, all his Bed Bath & Beyond, all his Chewy, everything he owns, just to buy more GameStop because he feels this is going to happen, or he knows it's going to happen, or the fact that he doesn't do it. No, I could never. You could never rationale that way. How about this? You can go ahead and think. And I give you this example. Like, yo, I'm the biggest Dallas Cowboy fan in the world. And I think there is no way they lose to the New York Giants tomorrow. We're going to win. It's a certainty. I know so-and-so's injured. I know this and that. I better go sell my house, my cars, every dollar I own. And then what if you're wrong? And I'm not saying what if you're wrong and that happens. I'm saying what if you rub someone the wrong way? What if I tell my wife this? My wife doesn't agree. There's more influencing factors than just me and some DD.
And this is my question to your theory, which you just said about the Dallas Cowboys. If you knew Dallas Cowboys and the other team actually paid money to each other, or Dallas Cowboys paid money to that other team, and that team accepted so that they can lose, you're telling me you'll still not go sell your house to bet on Dallas Cowboys? Yeah?
Absolutely not.
All right, man.
No, absolutely not. EA, have you lived in this world? What is the phrase? Yeah, what is the phrase? There's only two certainties in life: death and taxes. That's it. Those are the certainties in life. So no matter what he's over here guessing, what could happen, at what expense? He's married, right? He has a family, and what are you going to do? You're going to explain to your family, I put all my fortune into this. Like you could never.
I'm not talking about Ryan.
I'm not just talking about Ryan either, but I'm talking about anyone. These are educated individuals. You're looking for a YOLO. That's your affirm, right? This is how I am affirmed that this is going to happen. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. I tell you, if you're scared, then don't invest. You personally. But you know what? And it's not a personal attack. I'm saying to you this. You're here. You're saying how you feel about it, right? Like how people have shunned you or said the MOASS. Guess what, dude? I'm not even here for MOASS. I'm not here to tell you MOASS is happening because my MOASS is different than yours. My MOASS is not a rocket tomorrow to $10,000 a share. That's not my MOASS. You know how I feel it's going to happen, EA? I feel we're going to go ahead and show earnings over the next year. We're going to do great. We're going to have a profit. And then additionally, once we get into the S&P 500, I think we get another split. And at that point, this stock might hit about, I don't know, $100, $200, right? After the next split. And then at that point, the whole world might come rushing in, and you might peak out around $600 a share. You might peak out around $2,000 a share. Whatever you think the interest can get you to. But the number will be so small because of all the splits that have happened and or dividend payouts that have happened over the time frame that it's going to stay off the radar. It's not going to be a $19,000 run. How many people were watching the TV and you saw them explain Tesla hit $1,200? $1,200 Tesla. Did they know that was 6,000? Anybody know that? But they knew GameStop. We all did, right? But I'm saying the masses, the world didn't know. But guess what? The world knows.
Oh yeah.
The world knows that GameStop hit $400. No, but listen, the world knows GameStop hit $400. That's it. That's the end of the markets. That's the end of. We're going to make movies and books, and we're going to do over $400 a share on a float of nothing.
What's the
No,
market cap, Rance, on the S&P 500?
14.6. 14.6 billion.
So 14.6, and is it 3 out of 4 you beat
Three out of
earnings?
4.
So,
3 out of 4.
yeah, so that's what, next year, right?
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's a done deal.
They could beat earnings in January, right?
Yes.
November, December, January.
By the time they announce it in
Yeah.
March, you're looking at March to March, and you'll see the S&P 500 by September 2024. At what point during that time frame would you buy all in? Whoever
They
you
could
are.
have beat earnings. They could have beat earnings if they did the shortcuts too, but
Well, yeah, but they're not doing it that
They
way.
didn't take the shortcuts, right? No,
No.
I know.
I don't think people factor in all these things. Another thing, EA, the other thing you have to factor in, you really should go watch this interview. It's in 2014. You can go to YouTube, and you can Google it. It's Mark
I saw it.
Mark
I saw it,
Vadden.
yeah.
Mark Vadden interview. It's
Yeah.
about 28 minutes long. He is the creator of Zulily clothing, and if you watch it start to finish, you're gonna understand who Ryan Cohen is, because this is the guy mentoring Ryan Cohen, and he's a billionaire, and he managed to become a billionaire while Amazon exists. But this guy,
Hey, Coach Ryan.
yes, he's coaching him right
Yeah.
now. He's coaching him right now. And here's the crazy part.
Well, actually, he doesn't even like interviewing people.
No.
He doesn't even
Nothing.
He's very quiet.
Nothing. But let's talk about this for a second. This guy's a billionaire.
Right. I missed that entirely. What's that documentary? What's it called?
Yeah, it's Mark Vadden. It's Vadon. That's his name. Mark Vadden. It's an interview. And
Thank you. All right.
yeah, no problem. Watch the whole thing. I did a video about him. And if you understand who he is and what he's doing, he started a company in 1999, 1998 timeframe called Blue Nile, which is a diamond company. And he realized no one's selling diamonds online, so he created that. And when he created that, they ended up outselling, and they went public in 2004, but they outsold Tiffany's in diamonds. Like, he knew that Amazon wasn't doing this category well. So the next thing he does, he starts doing clothing, children's and women's clothing apparel, which is Zulily. So Zulily's massive, guys. And when Zulily comes out, and there's only 3 companies in this world to ever go from 0 to $1 billion in 5 years in the apparel business, and that's going to be Gap, which had the help, or I'm sorry, Old Navy with the help of Gap, and then you had Zulily and Amazon themselves. So there's 3 companies that have thrived during this time frame. Well, guess what? This guy went ahead and made billions of dollars on it, and Zulily just happens to be the number 2, I apologize, of the company that we stole the most employees from, GameStop. When we hired 350 executives, we took them all from Zulily. We took their style of e-commerce and clothing sales and apparel clothing, because we know they don't do it well. That we know Amazon doesn't do this well. Go ahead.
He said you can't go after Amazon head on. You're going to lose no matter what.
Yeah.
He thought outside the box. So he thought the culture. He was very very strategic on what. Because I listened to it. I was like, wow.
It'll blow you away. It'll blow you away, guys.
Yeah.
What it tells you is that we're on the right side of this. You want to know how to invest on it or how to bank against it. You don't YOLO your life because you think of market manipulation, whether you had the info or not. Look at Elon Musk. Did he YOLO his life? He still does it. He knows he's manipulated. Nobody does. Because what is it going to cost you? Your sanity? It's going to cost you a lot of things. It might even cost you negative articles to say it's a pump and dump when it's not. There's just so much happening on 10 fronts. When you're 36 years old and you're a billionaire, and a multi-billionaire, and you have so many people that you're responsible for, the last thing you want to do is put your reputation on the line for that. That's why I tell you we're going to win. You want to know why you know GameStop's going to be the end all and be all? I'll tell you why, guys. Ryan could fail, and he's still young enough and rich enough to try again. That's how great it is. So it's not a one shot. It's not a YOLO. It's a, hey, I have enough money in the bank that if this partnership doesn't work out, remember, we're relying on a lot of people. We're relying on Robbie Ferguson at IMX. We're relying on Loopring and LRC. We're relying on all of it, FTX themselves and Sam. So we're relying on 3 different companies right now, 4 different companies to make us that next part. What if one of those guys fail? Well, at least we still have money in the bank to do the next thing. So there's just so much that you want to protect yourself and navigate in a bear market in the worst geopolitical economic, macroeconomic bullshit. I mean, you're literally walking through the jungle, man. And he's out here doing it the right way, and we're walking with him. I know I am. You guys don't have to. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to invest in it. But I am there, And that's why I wake up every day and I make a video, man. Just because.
And what we know about the manipulated markets too is that the bad actors have people protecting them, and things seem to always work out for them.
Yeah, you can't bet against the government, and the SEC is doing that.
Yeah, and also, like, I appreciate what people like Dave Lauer are doing, because they're using their voice. They come from the system, and they know it's flawed. And so you have these, decent people in the system who are like, we're gonna, fight within this existing system and kind of do what we can. And that's admirable, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you right now, my risk management alone has allowed me to YOLO my excess cash, not my livelihood.
Rantz, see, here's the part I don't understand, ready? Do you remember March of 2020 when COVID hit?
Yeah.
Well, Conway, I talked to him on the space call, and he was into Tesla, and I had a lot of money in Tesla, but I'll be honest with you, I got very, very petrified because I was new to the market, and I was reading negative article after negative article, right? And then all of a sudden, in August of 2020, they did the 5-to-1 split dividend, not a forward, like just dividend, right? So, like, you're coming out of the worst. I mean, what was the Dow, and what was this like? I mean, it was like, I just remember like everything being in the teens. It was so low, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Tesla, coming out of that crash, you do a 5-to-1 split dividend, and all of a sudden you see it go all the way up to 11, 12, 13, 1400 times 5. So my thing is, what made Tesla go up on the reported short interest?
Yeah, it's shorts closing, right? It's shorts closing, and when you put it in that light like that, even when it's a slow gamma ramp style type rocket, it's still going from $300 a share all the way up, right? Like that after the split that happened. It split down to 300 something after the 5-to-1, and then it rocketed over the next 4 months. The timeline is about 2.5 months after the split is when it all settles in, and that's what you see for GameStop happening, and I'm happy for that. But I was just reminded of something right now by a guy named Brent here. I love Brent, by the way. That when the S&P 500 starts selling off like it is right now, the whole market's coming down. The SPY was down about 307, 312. I don't have it on my screen right now, but back in 2020, I still remember April. And I was buying Ford. I was buying something that no one wanted. And they were like, no, we don't want that. But they had zero interest rates, and all their trucks were sold out. And I was like, no, I gotta buy it. I gotta buy this company that I want to buy for $6, whatever it may be. And it hit all the way up to like $25 almost this year, and it was an amazing run. But what I'll remind you is this: when the whole market sells off, guys, that market cap that's needed to be in the S&P 500 drops as well. So Brett, good point. You're going to see GameStop not need $48 a share. See, right now, currently, GameStop needs $48 a share as of last quarter to be in the S&P 500, to be eligible. And they're not even going to need that because the market's going to be selling off. So we are strong, and we are holding strong. We're holding a lot stronger than the SPY. I don't know if you guys know that part. I want you guys to look at my screen right now, those of you that can see it. This is an increase from 1940 all the way to 25 and some change. This is essentially a 40% increase, 45% increase, somewhere in that range. It's a massive increase over the timeline. Every $2 basically is 10%. And when you think about it like that, we're 30 to 40% increase on GameStop over the last 6 months. Okay? When you go look at the SPY, and I have it for you, if you guys go look at the SPY, which I don't want to click on it. Is it making me do it that way? Whatever. I'm good. So we go ahead and look at the SPY, and you see the arrow going down, guys? That arrow is the SPY. So when you think about GameStop, a 30 to 40% increase versus the SPY, which is a massive fall off from that same said time frame. And it would actually be over here. I believe it's here, right here, because that was January. It's here. So during those same 6 months, that's what you're looking at on the SPY. The arrows are completely perpendicular to each other. So I just want people to know that while this market is selling off, there's one thing that's steady, one thing that's holding on, one thing that's there, and it's you. you're there and you're holding on. So I appreciate each and every one of you.
Rance, if you looked at Friday, right, you saw the market 486 down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see GameStop going green to 24, 25, 2503, 25, and then a little jump in after hours. But you say to yourself, it's outperforming SPY, Bitcoin, or whatever. So, like, that's where one thinks like, oh, GameStop can go down to 1510. I mean, look, I can't predict markets, but I'm just saying to myself, there's something like I really believe. This is my opinion. I believe that GME, call me crazy, but I think it's hedged against the market. I think it's going to.
Well, that's everybody. We've been saying that for a year and a half, 2 years. So that's not a problem. But like,
well, that's super bullish if it's the hedge against the market. That's extremely bullish.
Let this play out, because right now, if that's the case, you're going to see I honestly feel this is a bear trap coming right now, this week. I feel that because it's
collateral drops.
Yeah,
this could. I mean, obviously, just boom, right.
It's the same way. It's the same way that Tesla happened, and that's why when I say Tesla, everybody, you can't compare it to Tesla. No, I'm not doing that. What I'm comparing is hedge funds and in any institution that was using longs versus the short of Tesla had to pay. They had to pay. So if we're going to do that talk right now, MOASS talk or fundamental talk of that nature, you guys already know how I feel about this. I don't get involved with it because I love the GameStop company and the fundamentals, but if you guys really want to have that talk, I'm telling you guys, if they're short GameStop, it's 22% short right now, reported, 23% virtually. 23% is enough. 23% is enough of a short to get your ass whooped. There is nothing they can do. So, yeah, I love my company. Yes, I was shopping there this weekend. I think a lot of people were. But you guys, fundamentals will push this. It's not, we don't care about fundamentals. You know how many people text me and tweet me bullshit every day? Oh, wow, we're not investing for fundamentals. You're an idiot. Ha, ha, ha. It's like, no.
Fundamentals will get the institutions to buy in. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I'm trying to tell you guys. You'll see. And you'll see how it comes out your way. Hey, guys, in the chat right now on Twitter, I know I have guys in YouTube talking away, but in Twitter, guys, if you guys ever want to come up and talk and say how you feel about stuff, or just to say hi, come on up. The mic's open to you. GME and LRC, I own both. Oh, thank you. I think we all do. We all own something. But I just want to say thank you to that. But, Brent, you're absolutely correct. As the markets come down, the cap for GameStop will not necessarily have to be higher. I'm going to go review it tonight. So the S&P Global is where you actually find out where, I think it's somewhere around, it's something like that. I have to go look it up to where the SB, I forget where I got it all from, the prerequisites to get into the S&P 500, but I'll look it up. I'll definitely do that for you guys, because I know you guys are asking. Additionally, I don't know, we have more. Dizzy, give me another topic that you had lined up. I know you were talking about them, so I apologize. Sandwiches. Oh, God, no.
I'm sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah, see, you get to do all that while we're over here shooting the shit.
Well, you were just you and James, I tell you.
Yeah, oh, thanks.
No, I'm away from my computer for like 5 minutes, but
if that's your way of telling me to shut the hell up, I'm going to do it right now.
No, I need five more minutes to finish the sandwich, then I can yak with you.
No, Rance. Sure. One thing, Disney, I really know. The fundamentals. I mean, going forward. I mean, just think. I mean, you, Rance, you say it every day on your stream, but I know with all the Loopring, Ethereum, the wallet, iOS coming, FTX, crypto. I mean, there's so many. I mean, the other thing too that you mentioned in the stream that people don't realize too is like what company is hiring right now in this market. Think about it. GameStop, right? That's huge. In a bear market, when you got this turnaround going, like I never seen something like this in my life. In a bear market, you got a company with cash on hand, no, like a little debt. Well, that's small, like a little debt, but I mean cash on hand. The A team coming over from Fortune 500 companies. I mean, all the pieces are there. They're putting it together. And the other thing too, it doesn't happen overnight. I know you say this, Rance, all the time. I agree with you 100%. It's just like a process where they're just going brick by brick, and I think overall it's, I mean, with just the whole GameStop movement and just period, it's going to be one of the best movies to watch down the road. So, I mean, it's going to be in history books, in my opinion, too.
It already is.
But it already happened. That's why there's all the movies, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, YOLO. What a line that was. YOLO, let's just destroy the economy, right? I said, YOLO, let's just DRS afloat.
I'd love to hear more about these like Zulily execs.
Sure.
And kind of like anything about that.
Okay, so I'll tell you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So the chief growth officer, Elliot Week, whatever, he used to work for Amazon Fresh, and he worked for Procter & Gamble. But in addition to that, we hire Amazon people, right? But we also have Zulily people, like crazy Zulily. So Zulily, if people don't know what it is, I'll try to break it down for you guys. It was a company ran by Mark Vannon, started by him and his partner. He has like this Canadian partner guy that he used to work with. I forget his name. It's like James or something. And so what they did was, or Charles, I don't know. They formed a company that was catering to women's apparel and baby apparel, basically, children's apparel. And they developed this whole system on how to get it to you faster, or not faster, for cheaper, because they wouldn't ship it fast. That was the whole thing. Their business model was different than what other people do. But what they did was they did flash sales. So they put up a 72-hour sale on their website, and people felt like they had to have it because they knew it was on sale for 72 hours. And then that would be done with it. Then they'd find another one. And what they were finding was they were finding vendors who couldn't get into Amazon. Vendors that were being neglected because Amazon didn't do clothing well at the time. And now that they've done a lot better, Amazon has, but they're not winning that. I mean, you got to think about how many private label clothing companies exist via, Instagram, Twitter, everything. All the, what are they? The Shane, I don't even know what they are. The girls wear Fashion Nova, whatever company you are, and you're doing it that way. They have found a niche to where it's not, or a niche, if you're going to say it the right way, I guess. But where you're not in those same sectors that Amazon's in. Amazon ships out everything. They don't focus on anything. And everyone left Amazon. Their leadership is gone, right? Jeff Bezos is not there. Their CFO for North America is not there. Their CEO of Australia is not there. And numerous of other people are not there. They lost around 30 executives to GameStop. And I know Jenna Owens left, and she left us, but she's not there either. She didn't go back. It's not like these people went back just because they left Amazon and then they left us. So Amazon's hurting really bad, and it's going to show. It's going to show proof because everybody thinks it's this juggernaut. It's like this monster, right? Like you can't beat it. That's only because it was a home stock during COVID. Guys, Amazon hasn't always been $3,600 a share, i.e. whatever it's cut to right now, 20 times whatever it is right now. But Amazon wasn't always that. Amazon got that in 2020 where it became a monster, like something that no one could handle. But at this point, GameStop is trying to build in this bear market. They're building while this is really happening, and they're progressing, and they're being great. So I can't ever tell you not to buy it or however, but I just tell you that with me, I'm more confident than ever. I do want to talk about one stock, if you don't mind, Diz. I want to talk about Costco.
Oh, okay. I'm good with Costco.
Yeah, you thought I was going AMC, huh? Yeah. I'm a firm believer.
We can talk about that too, because I know those people are hurting. So
that's fine. Yeah, and it's going to be that way. I mean, I'll just start off with Costco first. Anybody who's invested into Costco, guys, it's a great company, run by brilliant people. The board of directors, being Jim Sinegal, the creator himself, is still there, still on the board of directors. He's not running the company day to day. He's not the CEO, but he's on the board of directors. Charlie Munger, he's on there as well. Then when you really think about the company, food, fuel, and medicine, how during a recession they thrive and they're selling 13 to 15% more in sales, like increase in sales every year. They open up more stores. There's like 27 stores right now worldwide. They just opened one up in Marietta, California, that broke the single day sales $2 million. Like that building sold $2 million in the grand opening on the first day. And $2 million a day, and with there's holidays involved, so you wouldn't be open 365. But let's just say and I'm just ballparking 350. You're meaning to tell me that store could potentially make anywhere from $500 to $700 million, like one store, and there's 800 of them. Like you guys got to know how big this thing is, and the e-commerce and the travel and everything else they do. I couldn't tell you it's a bad investment. I've been buying it for 10 years. And a lot of people know this because I promote it that way, and I support it. I say, you know what? That's where I shop. That's what I think is real. And guess what? They announced earnings last week. They announced their annual earnings, and they were superior. They were amazing. You know what happened to stock price? It went down $25. Like, it literally fell. And it just went down and down and down. And I have people panicking as I'm reading the boards, right? There's all these message boards and people panicking. Oh my God, I got to get out of this. It's not working. No, they need to raise their price. They're not going to increase the annual fee just yet. They felt, what did he say? He said, I know that inflation is tough on people. They're already paying more money for their products. Why should they pay more money to shop here? They did the opposite of what Sam's Club did. So, but what are they paying for? You know, the margin itself is shrunk 1% this year. So it's a great investment, and it's flat, essentially, during this market and during this time in our lives. But I think that it'll be fine. I think it'll prevail, and I think that the stock price warrants a 520, a 550 stock price. So I don't believe it's 460. I don't believe it's worth 450. I think it's worth a lot more than that. But would I continue to buy these shares at this price right now, just so everybody knows, I am no longer buying Costco stock. I am not buying it at this moment. And not because the price at 400 is not great and I think it's going to 5. It's just my value in GameStop at $25 is ridiculous. I think GameStop at $25 is a damn giveaway. And it's lower than what Ryan Cohen bought in right now in his second time. It's lower than when Alan Adel bought in. It's lower than all the executives were buying in. So why not buy it at this price? And it's reflective upon that. So that's my own thing. I'm going in with GameStop. Not going to be buying Costco, but I'm going to hold Costco. I hold over, enough. I'll tell you this, if you guys ever want to know how much I hold at Costco, I could write covered calls, but I won't. And I thought about it this week only because earnings was coming out. I really did, Dizzy. I thought about writing a weekly, and I was like, I could write this. And the problem with that was I couldn't justify it getting assigned and me making 50 grand or whatever it was going to be, because I was going to put a strike price around 520. But why? Like, do I need 52 grand out of that I've been saving up for so long? I don't need it. Like, just let it sit there. That's why I'm long on a lot of things, guys. I'm long on GameStop and this. I'm long on my family, and I'm long on this channel, and I'm long on the friendships I've made. I'm long on the things that are permanent in life, not the temporary things. All those temporary things, negative comments online, that's temporary, right? A bad day, that's temporary. I don't let a bad day make a bad life out of me. So just for everyone out here, you guys worried about these markets and day to day, you'll outlive this damn downturn. You'll outlive everything. But you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to see you participated in it when it comes down to it. So GameStop, I don't need to YOLO it that way. I could have a long time ago and sold off the rest of my Costco stock, but I won't. But I will just watch it from afar now. I will not participate in Costco anymore at this time. I'm not going to say ever again, just not at this time. If it splits, and then I can get a better cost average for myself, knowing how I do my math. But I've been buying since it was $100 a share. I just want to put that out there. A lot of people know that I'm in that stock. So I wanted to talk about that so you guys know what the hell's going on. But I'm obviously in GameStop, and that's where my heart is. That's where my life is. 25.13 on the stock, volume below the volume that you had last summer when we got into the Russell 1000. But we have not had real volume on this stock for over a year. So I commend everyone. I want to just tell everyone, thank you guys. You guys are awesome for holding the way you guys do, because I know you're not selling. And the people that are selling, they're not even in here. So joke's on them. But Mom Spaghetti, you do have the floor, brother. If you ever want to say something, I see you. And shout out to Herb Tonic. Herb Tonic is here. Bert.
Yeah, I invited him up.
Bert's a real man.
Maybe.
He's a real man. He's the shit. I interviewed him a while back.
He's a good ass man, as you would say.
He's a good ass dude. Good ass dude.
Because he has a good ass, right?
There you go. See, you're staring. You
Herb Tonic, come on up and defend yourself. Yeah. We're accusing you of having good ass.
Hey, well, you're going too deep for me, Diz. That's just too much.
Oh dear.
I say it once, and that's good enough for me. But shit, yeah. No, I see Nagus is here too. Nagus, good, much love, bro, and Jeeps, obviously. A lot of people end up coming through throughout the day, and then I even almost closed out my YouTube page already. Like, I don't even know who's over there. But those guys are here, and so they're saying because I said too deep about the ass. But that was funny. So companies like Costco,
Jeez.
Home Depot, and GameStop, a few others, are great in times of Luke. These are like these. They have the strength to steady the ship and take off when the storm passes. Yeah, I think that GameStop's doing that, Dizzy. I think GameStop's doing that with the partnerships that they're forming. God, I get so excited. Every time I see IMX make an announcement that I don't even understand, I'm like, that's awesome. Because I don't understand it, but it obviously means something because they're talking about it. Now I get to go do homework and find out what it is. Like, that's how I am right now. It's pretty crazy for me. So, Costco is awesome. Recorded $2 billion revenue, probably. It does more than that, but yeah, you're tracking.
So, okay. So, like, the prices of the stocks are pretty good right now. Are you okay? Sorry, I thought there must be a delay on your YouTube stream because it looked like I was talking and you were still talking. Anywho, so the prices on stocks are pretty good, like as a get in now because it'll eventually go back up, right? Then again, there's a lot of people losing their jobs, and these are not like low performers now. You have Google and Facebook. They're saying we're not going to lay you off. But we're going to give you 30 days to find another job in the company, right? So this is essentially a layoff because if you don't find a job in the 30 days, then these are actual good employees let go from the company. And then you just have, a glut of people. And so even though, I guess what I'm saying is, even though it's a good time to buy stocks and have investments, it's also there's a lot of fear. There's concern about people losing their jobs. You guys already know. I lost mine in a layoff. We had a small departmental layoff, and but anyway, I was burned out anyway. So I think I welcome the break. And you know what's funny, Marantz? I started my own YouTube channel.
Oh,
but
okay.
I haven't uploaded any videos. I just made a banner. I'm not going to be on the camera. It's for the background music, the cafe style background noise.
There you go again.
Yeah.
Office noise, whatever the hell you do. Yeah.
Lo-fi jazz, and I have a nature sounds one I started. I'm I'm trying out Final Cut Pro.
Hey, Diz, can I ask you something? No, I know. Don't worry about that. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
How did you feel? Because because I know how I went through it. I have been laid off before, one time in my life. How did you feel? How did it play out? Did they call you in? Did they give you a letter, an email? How did it all work out for you? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, man.
Are you past the emotions yet? I have to know.
Yeah, I thought I would take it really personally that, I was selected in this group, but honestly, I didn't get too emotional over it. I don't know, I think after 3 years I needed a break from them, and I think I can do better. But, yeah, it wasn't too bad. They're like, hey, this is happening, you're going to be paid for, so many weeks, and it's, tough times and whatever. And, they also did the whole thing that, Google and Facebook are doing now with the, we'll give you, so in my case, they gave me 45 days to find another job in the company. And I just didn't care for the company that much so anymore. So I'm just gonna do my thing. And then what happened is so I knew I'd be paid for the next 6-7 weeks, right? So then I don't know, I was immediately looking around for work, and then I just lost all my motivation and energy, and I'm doing something else for a minute. And now what I'm thinking is I don't ever want to depend on one main source of income ever again. And so right now I'm spending time setting up these different passive income streams. Possibly things might work out, they might not, but I really feel that you need to have something else going on for you. So for me, it's okay, I have my GameStop investment. maybe my YouTube channel takes off, whatever. Like, I know you need like 1,000 subscribers apparently to even get monetized, but I'm trying out different things. Like, I might do some like Squarespace or Webflow templates and sell those on Etsy. And I might try this or that. I might try, I don't know if my voice is any good. I need like a real mic, but I could like read for audiobooks. I don't know. I may have to sound a little bit more professional than I do on some of these calls. I don't even know if my voice is good enough to.
Look, you want to know how to make money? You need something to make money off of, Dizzy? I'm telling you. Yeah, it's so easy, bro. Just you could be the GameStop OnlyFans chick, and I'll slip you Terrible's DMs, and we'll get it done. She'll partner up with you.
I want to use my brains. Sorta.
Oh, that's what they call them these days.
And my
charm, I love your
my
big
charm.
brains.
I got a big. I like to use my charms, but not the ones on my chest. Anyway, back to.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out like how it all happens. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but here's why I tell you this. In 2009, I posted this video about me getting laid off. They were laying off everybody at the office that day, and I knew of everyone getting laid off, and they were like afraid to come up to me because I was salesman of the year. I was accountant. I was a senior sales executive for recruitment advertising, and I was the number one guy in the building for 3 years. 3 years. And I was saying to myself, there's no way. Like, they're going to lay off all these people. They can't lay off me. I'm the number one. And do you know how they did it? They said, who do we pay the most to? Who actually makes the most money off of these positions? And it's this guy. And I'm like, yeah, it's Marantz. He makes the most money because he sells the most, yes, but we wouldn't have to pay him as much as we do. We could deal with somebody who's mediocre, and we could keep our money. Like, that's how they saw it. It was wild, man. And when I learned that out, I remember them pulling me in. I'm thinking, how am I going to fend for myself? How am I going to make money for my children? How am I going to provide money to my wife? Like, I had to go home with it. And I think my dad's the one who helped me out the most is my dad told me, he said, hey, this just closes one door and opens another. Don't worry about it. He's like, it's just money. Like, he literally said it to me like that, and I was like blown away. I was like, you don't understand. I'm about to lose everything. Like, my cars are gone, my house is gone. I mean, my lady might leave me. Well, my wife didn't leave me, obviously. I mean, she's still here. But it was a trying time for me. But if I would have known what I know now, I'd be a millionaire. Like, I would literally be a millionaire. I would have been glad to leave. I'd be like, oh my God, they're letting me go? Great. Look at what I did with the last 2 years of making money. I could have literally put it in the market at that time. It was 2008, 2009. And I could have bought the house. Like, I couldn't understand it. And there was kids around me buying houses. And I'm like, wait a minute, houses are 400 grand. And then I turn around and look, and they're like 150 grand. They were nothing. They were pennies. I was like, how is this even possible? And all those guys right now are selling their homes for $700,000, and they're walking around and they're spending money. Dizzy, I'm telling you, I have a core group of friends selling houses right now, like a whole bunch of them, and they all sold their houses, all of them, and they went and bought bigger houses. 1, 2, they took all the excess equity and they put it on new cars, going on trips, going on vacations, taking pictures of that, doing that on Facebook, and here I am, eating bananas and hot dogs and a drink, and I'm literally going for nothing, and I'm saving every penny I have and I'm putting it into GameStop. You see, I think that I'm doing it the right way, and yeah, it's a gamble to some people. It's a gamble to the people who are on TV maybe, or other YouTubers. Those are the gambles, but it's not a gamble to me. This is like the most sure thing in my life because I'm looking right at it and next to my family, but I mean, it's up there. So that's how I dealt with it back then. I missed out on an opportunity, and there's one in front of me right now, and I don't want to miss out. That's just it. This is my fear of missing out. So
I feel you, man. And this, I think, being in this play for a year and a half, like it's given me a lot of resilience to where, like, I really do feel like I can handle some of these weird obstacles that life throws my way. I'm like so zen now, generally speaking, and like I get like less angry about things. I know that a lot of situations in life, they're just not personal, it's just business. Sure. And I feel like I'm a different person after all of this.
You know what they call it? They call it PACE. Do you know what that is? PACE? PACE.
No, I mean, I know the definition of the word, but in this context, what do you mean? Yeah,
PACE. It stands for Plays After Critical Errors. So after you make a critical error in investing, it's what play are you going to do next? Like, hey, I made a mistake. Hey, then this is what I give. This is my segue to every AMC investor. If you're an AMC investor right now, you're in the chat. Come on up. I'll talk to you. But straight up, pace is everything, and they have to think about it. What plays are they going to make after these critical errors that were made? And when I look at them, I think one, you can't follow the crowd, right? I literally feel, and I don't want to use that analogy. This analogy I was about to use in my head, but. When you're like you're a lemming, right? You're just following people to your death. You're following people just because the person's right in front of you. Like that guy went into that stock, that's where I'm going. Adam Aaron told me he bought into HYMC, now I'm going. It's like, who believed? Like I was reading these messages because he went to the movie theater and watched Avatar with them, which Avatar does not resonate for me. Like it's a 14-year-old movie that I don't even care to watch, but it didn't have mass appeal to me on the first one, other than it was all CGI. It was like a new thing, right? But then like people start thinking like they want to be part of this Pandora, it's a real planet or whatever, and there's a bunch of wackos out there apparently. But if that's enough to get your company going, I don't think it is. I don't think they have enough money to get it going, and I don't think they're going to make enough money this quarter or quarter four. And I think that they're going to have to really implement pace. And that's what it's going to come, the plays after the critical errors. So the one play could be GameStop. The other play could just be, keep it safe. And do a couple of hardcore mutual funds and get the hell out of the way. But that's just me. So I just want to share
Marantz, regarding my 401k.
Yeah.
So like officially I haven't been like terminated yet or whatever because I'm still being paid out.
Yeah. So
when I'm able to transfer my 401k or whatever, roll it over into an IRA, okay, so like I was able to still like direct it somewhat. So it was invested in like the general stock market, but it was down like 14 or 15% this year.
Yep.
And so I looked at other things I could put it in the meantime, and like I just switched the allocation, and tell me if I did something wrong.
Yeah,
but
so you have a couple different ways you can do it though. Like
I switched it to something called stable value, where I don't really make any money, but I'm not losing money either.
Yeah, but you got to remember over the market is that you're not losing. Hello, hey guys, everyone out there in the chat, okay? None of you have lost a single damn dollar. I don't care how much your 401k has come down, you haven't lost a dollar. Have you pulled anything out? Then you haven't lost it. You still bought in with the amount that you've invested, and it'll go up in said turn. 401k is just a way of buying shares of whatever fund they might have. They'll call it like retirement fund 2045. And then guess what happens? And that one said retirement fund, they buy a certain amount of allotment of shares, and you buy shares of that ETF basically. And it's like, okay, now you own 892 shares of this ETF that's worth, $55 a piece or whatever it may be. Like, and that's how it reverses out of it, because they're shares. It's not you're not reversing money, you're reversing shares. And when you think about it in that way, you think, okay, I have X amount of shares, the market's down, so my 401k value goes down because that one ETF went down. I get it. Whatever I'm investing in, that mutual fund I'm investing in goes down. Well, guess what happens? It goes up when the market goes up. So you didn't lose anything. It's just a rhyme and repeat. The only people losing money right now are baby boomers. Baby boomers are losing because they're reversing out of it. So their current position that they're reversing out of the 401k is dwindling down in real time. Those people are losing. Those pensions, those crazy funds that are they were like, oh, I was set to make $200,000 every year until I'm 80 because they reversed it from me from the time I retired at 58 on forward. So, but people see it the wrong way. The whole baby boom cashed out. That's why the markets crashed in 08 and 09. Those guys got greedy and they got caught. And for the next X amount of years, they cashed out on this market for 2020, 17. That's what it is. The baby boomers stopped at that point. Now we're in this next generation, us, the 30s and 40-year-olds, who have to now buy in on this market. So if you're buying in on this market, just know what you're buying into. You're buying into the bottom. I increased my 401k this past 2 months just to start buying this bottom And I wasn't doing that before. I was managing my own money because I'm a better trader than my damn guy who's making me back, 12, 13, 14% each year. But right now the market's at 14% down. Guess what you do, Diz? You turn that shit up. You turn the volume up and you go grab everything you can at this new deflated rate. So I'm trying to pump in as much as I can. In your case, it's a scary situation because you literally, like I remember they give you the option after like 30 days of not being employed. You can in turn go get it. You get penalized. You get penalized like you wouldn't believe, but you can go grab it. You can go grab whatever you have in there. And for some people that have been working for a long time, their nest eggs are huge. I have a guy who made the biggest mistake you've ever met in your life. He was with the company 25 years and he went and asked to get fired. Well, he quit, put in his notice. He says, I want to quit. And then he said, I'm going to come back in 30 days, he's going to get his seniority back. But his whole reason why he quit for 30 days was because he wanted to go get his 401k. He wanted to go grab all that money he had in there because he's a real estate agent. He wants to go and buy more property at these new rates that are coming out and or the new prices that will be coming out really soon. He anticipates a crash. He anticipates all this. So he says, I need my money. And he had like maybe $700,000 saved up. So what does he do? He goes in there and grabs it and he lost 200-something thousand just off of taxes and penalties. He lost like 250,000, 275,000. I don't know what it was. But was it worth it? No. Then you're going to come back and try to get a job again and start back. And, but I get my seniority. But you don't get the benefits of it. Like there's so many things that you don't get from our company that it works that way. But people trying to game the system that way for these opportunities, be careful, man. It's not even worth it. Like, what are you risking? You're risking to live the comfortable life you've been living for the last 25 years. What's so wrong? What are you missing out on? Any of you guys, what are you missing? Well, you put money into GameStop. What do you want? You want it back tenfold? You want $10,000 tomorrow? You don't believe in this? Okay, then walk out. You still wear V-neck t-shirts? That's on you. I wear crew neck t-shirts. I don't know why I just told you that, but I do. Anyway, that's really happening, guys. Any company that's out here trying to do better and progress, you should stay with them and don't jump the boat. But somebody like you, Diz, that you're out here and you're living in this life, that's tough, man. It's tough because I remember when it happened to me. And I worked for a good company. And I thought I did. But you know where it took me? It took me to WoW. I started playing video games. And I crapped out on WoW where I just played a whole year. For one fiscal year, if you hit /played on WoW, I had played 173 days in one fiscal year. That means I slept for a portion of my year and I played WoW the rest. I didn't do anything else. I was just vegetating on the screen. It was amazing. I was one of the best. But I love those days. You still wearing V-neck t-shirts? That's on you. Oh yeah, quote that, guys. Yeah, I'll punch a dude if he wears a V-neck t-shirt around me. Not half the man I thought he was.
The hell?
Bro, have you seen these guys with stretched out collars and shit? I don't want to see your little taco meat right there. It's gross. But knowing when I look at Herb Tronic, he probably wears all the taco meat in the world. I don't know. But that's my dude. I wonder if he's here now. I'm waiting for him, man.
He's here.
Okay. It says my brother Rico
he must
wears
be driving
V-neck.
or something. We
Yeah.
had a few people who weren't able to come up. They said they were driving or something, had something going on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, these guys don't know my
If you want
life.
to defend yourself, you're welcome.
Oh
to
no,
come up.
he can't. I knew he had a hairy chest and back when I interviewed him, but it's cool. Rico's in V-necks and Ed Hardy jeans, pretty much bedazzled pants, all that stuff, guys. I'm gonna start rocking these Walmart shoes coming up real soon. But for the most part, guys, the markets, just so you guys get an overall view, I'm gonna go down a list of stocks right now. We're gonna talk about them. I don't have a huge watch list anymore. I got rid of it. It was pointless because I knew what we were going through. My watch list is 7 stocks. One is Costco at $466.40. It's a steal. It's a great buy. I think the stock will go up eventually. I don't think it's going to go up any time from now until October because the senior officers and board of directors, from what I was reading, they have the annual RSU buyout, like payout at that time frame. So they get to opt out and they get to sell off their shares. And there's a lot of shares there. On a 400 million share float, Costco has to have manipulation of, and I'd say manipulation, but a sell-off of $20 per share. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. People don't sell Costco. People don't ship it out. It's stable. It's one of the best stocks you can have, and the volume of 5 million off that 400 million float would tell you that it has essentially 1% of the float trading. So that's what you had on Friday, and that was after the annual earnings report came out. Another thing I'm looking at is the SPY. The SPY itself. I said that I think the SPY can come all the way down to 315, 312, that range, which would be a major crash, would be everything you want, and I think it can happen. And I just don't know if it is happening, but I think it can happen. And that would be unfortunate for a lot of people, and the whole economy would come crashing down. But if that were to happen and we're the hedge to it, let us rock it at that point. Let us do what we do. But the prerequisite to get into the S&P 500 would be lowered. I love that idea that they said in the chat here, because I'm going to have to go check and see what the benchmark is to get into the S&P 500 if it crashes even lower. At the rate that it was last year in January, we would have needed 14.6 billion market cap, which we held for a couple of moments in and out of that year. Right now it would be $48 a share if we wanted to get there. The next stock, Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond is currently $6.67. No, I'm not as bullish as Kai's Malaj is, and saying that they're partnering up with GameStop and Ryan Cohen, and I don't do all that talk. I let him say his piece. They have a small float. They have a lot of things going on over there. For me personally, I like this stock at $6. And I'm talking 6 flat, not 6.67, but anything below 6. Earnings are going to be coming out in 4 days from now. So Wednesday, earnings will be out for Bed Bath & Beyond. I want to see them not lose $150 million. So if they actually operate and don't lose $150, then it's they're going in the right direction. We know that they found funding. We know that some insiders sold and some other stuff's going on with that stock, but I don't get too involved on the conspiracy theory side of that stock. I just tell you that fundamentally it is undervalued. At $600 million on a market cap for Bed Bath & Beyond, how the hell is anything worth more than that, like AMC or APE or HYMC, whatever they are? I would be buying this stock, Bed Bath & Beyond, before I buy those. But of course I'd buy GameStop before I buy anything. GameStop at $25, guys. God, we'll talk about it in a minute. So there's that. The next rundown stock is going to be HYMC, Hycroft Mining Group. If you guys are familiar, this is an actual pump and dump in all forms of life. I don't care. They can come see me, sue me, do whatever you want. They literally took it from everybody. And I don't think that people know what the hell they're buying. If you go look at the SEC filing that they filed on the 15th of March, they agreed to increase the float, and this is March of this year. They agreed to increase the float. It might have been the 14th, not the 15th, whatever. 1.4 billion shares and or $500 million, whichever comes first. Well, we know that you won't find $500 million. You know what's crazy about this, guys? AMC and the individuals there that are investors are prone to believe that people or that institutions or retail has millions and millions of dollars to spend. Like, people are just ready to pour in. Oh, if this goes down to $3, we're going to buy the whole float. It's like, that's not how it works. People don't have the money they think they do, not during this time. How are you trying to live? You have a recession in front of you. You have inflation in front of you. And then you also have the stocks that you hold already. You think you're going to find excess cash to get into these? HYMC thought that. They went ahead and ran the price up. And as it ran all the way to $3.10 right before April, AMC announced what they called projected earnings, not real earnings, unseen earnings, whatever they call it. But it wasn't real. And when I look at this, HYMC is going to sell off the way her previous company did. That's Dr. Diane Garrett. Her previous company, because she's the CEO of HYMC right now, she had a company where they came in, it was 60 cents when she got there, it was 6 cents when she left. I think this stock will be around 6 cents when it's all said and done. It'll probably take about 2 years to a year and a half to get there, but it's definitely going back to 24 cents. They don't have enough buyers. Their market cap is around $200 million and $100 million cash on hand, $150 million cash on hand. That's burning off. It will burn off through bonuses, through the way they pay their VPs. There's nothing that's backing that stock. So 200 million shares is the float now, and it used to be 100 million. So they have found 100 million buyers of said shares, but they're at 64 cents right now, 67 cents. There's nothing to buy, and it's the worst run company you've ever seen in your life. That's just me. You guys can feel any way you want about the gold mining company. Stop me when I'm getting too ahead of myself here, Dizzy. I'm just going.
Go for it.
Okay.
It's fine. I just found the CEO lady of HYMC really disingenuous with how she has these photo ops and she's wearing like rockets and ape brooches. It's like it's just so cringe to me. I see what she's doing.
It's propaganda. Propaganda.
Yeah.
And so if you know that she didn't have a Twitter page until they announced the partnership with AMC, and she just basically did what AMC does, and what Aaron Adel, or oh my God, Adam Aaron, God, all the names. She's just doing what Adam Aaron does, and just tries to say the right things, get the little pub pieces out, and record videos, cater to investors, not cater to anyone else. There's no one to cater to. There's no customers there. It's investors. So that's how they make their videos and their photo ops. And in the last photo op where she put it out right now, it's like, why are they all in hoodies and jackets? Because it was filmed before. It was not filmed now. There's just a lot of things like that where people have to know how they lie to you. And they're doing it right in front of you. Now here's the cream of the crop. The last three stocks I'm going to talk about. One is APE. APE is $3.58, $3.57 in the after hours of Friday. This stock is the one I told you guys would come below under $10, under $8, and it will hit $2. People think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. When I was saying it a month ago, I was telling everybody how it was going to happen. The first thing, Terrible, or any of these other guys, these Froggy Stock guys, whoever, I don't know who the hell was talking to me. David and Goliath, they all said, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen because it's never been done. I'm going to tell you guys something. I do know how it's going to happen because I know how to do simple math, arithmetic. And a lot of these guys lack common sense at this because they are so deep, they don't want to face it. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm letting you guys know. If you need help, I'm here. I'll help you. I'll help you read it. I'll help you understand it. But $3.58, and it's only going to go lower. Do you know why? Adam Aaron owns it. He owns 483 million shares of it. And at some point, he's going to find a buyer. He's not going to find a buyer at $3.58. That's why it keeps dropping off. He couldn't find a buyer at $3 for AMC shares in December of 2020. He sold them to Mudrick at $283, $287 a share. There's a reason why you can't find a buyer. Go look at that balance sheet. You can't trick institutions into buying in. You can't trick people with money into buying your shitty stock. It's not possible. That's not how it works.
Hey, Marantz, so APE is not like a normal stock, right? It's a preferred unit?
It's a preferred stock unit, means a couple of things. One, it cannot be delisted because it's under $4 on the market itself. Like some people were saying, if it gets under $4 then it gets delisted. Not the preferred stock unit. Additionally, it has no backing. There's no balance sheet. There's no structure. It's just an equity unit pushing the price out of the stock itself, out of AMC, the stock. So if you look at the charts, they have restructured AMC, the stock price, to represent 75% of the company's equity. APE sits on 25%. That's just been the ratio, 3 to 4. And I don't know how much it can hold up. The price of AMC came down, and this is why I said they lost. And everybody's like, "What are you talking about? It ended green. It was green. It was $1.20, 1.25% increase, right? That's what they're saying. It was up 14 cents. Like they're trying to tell me all these things, and I was like, you guys don't get it. They lost because they ended under $8. At $7.99, you lost all the calls on the other side of that $8 price, strike price. So you lost. You lost the Battle of 801. Just like they were all here for the Battle of 801 a year and a half ago, this new Battle of 801 was lost on Friday, and they just don't know it. I didn't make a video about it. I didn't tweet about it because I don't have to anymore. It's just like trying to help you guys, but you don't want to listen. The combined price of said stock is $11.57.
Hey, Marantz, help me understand. So the AMC apes, they voted against further dilution, right? But
No.
then Adam Aaron found a way to do this, and then it pulls liquidity away from AMC.
There was never a vote, right? There was never an official vote. There was a poll like he does, right? His little Twitter polls, But he had an idea that when he did ask for dilution of some kind, he actually offered up more shares back in April of 2021. He says, we're going to do this, and then he pulled it off the table. When he pulled it off the table, he then said, don't worry, guys, we're not going to do this for a whole year. We won't do it this year. And he was very specific on how he worded his language. And the reason why was because they had shares. The insiders held shares. So they had every intention, or there was every benefit that they would hold it and the price would go up. You have to. Remember that he implemented the clause that you can sell your shares if you're an insider and an official officer for AMC. They actually did that in a vote during the annual shareholders meeting in October of 2020. So there used to be this law that was in place. And I say law, it's just bylaws, right? Like it's the rules inside, where insiders had to hold X amount of shares at any given time. But because they knew they were going under, they allowed them to sell all their shares. So they lifted that clause. And when they lifted that clause, it was because he was offering shares of the company at pennies on the dollar to Silver Lake and Mudrick. He knew that if he was going to offer and dilute the shares, he would have to tell the board of directors, this is what we're going to do. Now, to convince the board of directors is one thing. You can do that all day because you're on the board. You're not the chairman of the board, but you're on the board. But the chairman of the board at the time in 2019 was Wanda Group. Two gentlemen that were on the board of directors were Chinese. And what he did was he backdoored them on these deals. He backdoored them with the benefit of Silver Lake and Mudrick. And basically it was like a, oh yeah, let me show you what I have. And that's because he has connections to the short side. I don't care. I don't care if people think I'm crazy on this or where's your proof. I'll show you the proof. Show you proof in the action. The action was he sold 100 million shares to Mudrick for $2 a piece. And when he did it, yeah.
Yeah, right. Just on the AMC thing, right? The part that confuses me, right? Because I was in on that run up to 72. I am sure there's a lot of people that were on that run up, and it freaked me out after what I found out. But why wouldn't Adam sell his shares while it was going up, right? Mm-hmm. Why was it was it like a backroom deal, why wouldn't you sell your shares when it's going up instead of just not do anything about it, and then all of a sudden it goes to 72 and then a big dump, which I don't still believe that it would actually drop the share price from 72 to 70, 69, 60. You know what I mean? That thing was just running. And it was June 2nd or June 8th. I'll never forget. It was in the morning. And I just looked at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Yeah, it was June 2nd,
55.
June 3rd. Yeah.
Whatever it was, right? And I'm looking, I had over 30,000 shares. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. And I was at $5, I was at $6, I was at $8 a share. Then I saw it go to 901, 910, 11, 13, back to 12, back to 13, back to 14, going out to 12. It went for a few months in the spring. And then all of a sudden, I'm washing my fence and I'm like 25, 30, 35. I'm like, holy shit. The part that confuses me is that, I was in on AMC, I'm in GME right now, it's my only stock, but why did he not sell at that point?
Okay.
If he needed money for revenue.
Yeah, listen, it wasn't for revenue. To sell personally is one thing, right? I'm going to sell shares of my personal wealth, but you can't sell shares for the company that you don't own. They don't own any. They didn't own any. That's why they couldn't make the company any money, right? They could only make themselves money. There was no shares available for them to sell. But if you're talking about personal worth and what he sold himself, well, one, you don't want to lose the world. You're going to lose the trust. You saw what happened to Robinhood. They lost the trust in the community. They have the best looking app in the world, the best colors. It's the easiest thing you'll ever use in your life. Robinhood is an amazing app to buy stock. It really is. Here's the problem.
Do you think that there was a deal between Adam and Mudrick with selling the shares at 72? There was a huge amount of shares that was sold, right?
No. So what happened was he sold them at $2 a piece. Okay, sold them at $2 a piece to Mudrick. As it ran, Mudrick sold off. He then had a chunk left to make money off of. He has no idea how high this stock's going to go. He did a share offering 2 weeks before in May and April. and they raised X amount of dollars. They actually raised a good amount of money. But as it's running, he doesn't know who's making it run. Just like a lot of people don't know. They think it's retail. They think it's FOMO. It's not. Retail doesn't move this market, as you can see. But what they do is, as it's running, he sells off to Mudrick again in the $30, $28 to $29, $31 to $33 range, and they sell off and they get a portion of that money back, right? A portion of what they wanted to make off of it. AMC cashed out on the books on that. I made a video about this somewhere. But the crazy part about it is, personally, he can't sell, right? He can't sell because he'll lose the movement. And he knows that because he interviews with Trey 2 times, and he understands what the movement is. So what he does is he does what they call a 10B51 program, right? Whatever the hell it is. And I don't use it because I don't sell the way he sells. And they sell them for you. They sell a portion every month, every quarter, whatever, on like clockwork. Hey, on this date, you know when you're going to do it too. He doesn't announce it to you, but hey, on this date, they're going to sell off 25% of my position. Boom. On this date, we're going to sell off 20%. But listen to this, James. You don't think he sold off at the top? How do you think people feel right now that hold it at $7.99?
No, that's the part that infuriates me. I don't stream. I don't do anything.
He sold off at the top. Selling at 40 is the top. Selling at 30 is the top. That's a top. You're never going to get there again. Never. BlackRock sold off at 27 4 weeks ago. They knew it. That's the top.
So I mean, I'm saying the trust. Like when I heard about this after the fact, I was like in shock. I was like, wow. And when I mentioned this, someone said, "Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. You're gonna scare everybody." And then everyone's gonna sell. I'm like, well, fucking, I'm only giving you the facts. What I'm reading here. I mean, I'm not lying, right? And it was pretty shady, I thought. So I never went back in. But yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I'm sure everybody was. I don't know, but for me personally, I was in AMC.
No, so was I. I bought in at $8.99, $8.98, $8.99, somewhere in that range, and I sold.
Yeah, but then everyone was like averaging down too, because it went down to $5, and then Dave Portnoy come on. He actually, I want to say this, but no, you don't have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember he was on Fox, right? He said he had $750,000 on AMC. He didn't, he made money. Someone said something like that he sold, but I have a recording that I remember him saying, I have $750,000, and Adam Payne asked him, what are you going to sell? He said, I'm not going to disclose that, but I just remember, because I had a lot of money on AMC, but I just remember him saying, and he made money because he bought it. I think what his cost basis was, $5-6. So how did he lose? He didn't lose. He gained.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of David's position, but I'll tell you it like this: everybody made money. Everybody made money, except for the people that are currently holding right now. And even if this is YouTubers that are pushing out info, like the ones who bought in 2 weeks ago, like Tony De Niro.
You're talking about the people that bought in when it went up.
No, but I'm talking about even last week. You 2 weeks ago, you have 2 YouTubers who claim that they bought in, and they're telling people I bought in for $100,000 on APE and AMC, and I'm like, why would you ever? Right? Why would you ever? Right now, you're down right now. So according to their trading rules and the way they trade, get in and get out. If you're losing, if it's a loser, cut bait and get it the hell out. Well, then show me you're cutting bait right now. Show me you're getting out. Oh, you're not? It's because what are you buying in with? Are you buying in with the profits that you already made off of YouTube or the profits of your position last year? I mean, that's just it. It's
okay, Rantz.
Yeah.
Just back up. So just so I understand this correctly, because you know a lot more than I do. Are you trying to say that Adam Aaron couldn't sell his shares? Obviously, right?
He can't.
But he had someone selling them for him, and
no,
he was making that.
No. You have to differentiate company shares and personal shares. Okay.
Okay.
And when I say he can't sell the shares at $2, I'm talking about the company. You see, he backdoored Wanda with Silver Lake and Mudrick. Now they had positions on the board, and
time out. When you say backdoor, what do you mean by backdoor?
He made deals with them, and the Chinese didn't. That's why Wanda got out. Wanda got out because they're like, this guy's running this company to the ground. And remember, they have a lot of pride, the Chinese do. That's why people think that these bots exist, right? For AMC, it's Chinese bots still trying to push the narrative that AMC is a great company, but it's just to the point to make it even harder. Like they're trying to tank it even harder on the people. China's manipulating this market right now. And they could be making money off of it. That's one thing. People don't believe this part of it. I had a guy DM me directly about this. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't really even see this part of it. But he suckered out 2 people, the 2 main guys from Wanda, out of this stock. And they sold and they got the hell out of there. Wanda still holds shares to today. A little bit. A little chunk. But here's the problem. And that's just for pride, right? That's what people are telling me. But the crazy part is, so like people don't think like it's a vendetta type deal. Well, we got shares in there. Why would we want to hurt them? We're part of them. No, they hate this guy. But this guy told the board of directors, he said, listen, man, I've got these guys. I've got retail on my side. Believe it. Watch this. And he goes on to Trey's channel, which he hadn't tweeted forever until he got there. His first tweet of 2021 was, I'm going on Trey's channel to go speak to my fellow investors. That was his first tweet of that year. And he hadn't tweeted a year before that because of COVID. He had tweeted about COVID. Other than that, he had 0 tweets, guys, in 2020. 0 tweets in 2021, the first 4 months. Then out of nowhere, this one. I've seen them all. I've seen every single tweet Adam Aaron ever put out. I know exactly what he's saying. And when he bought Carmike movie theaters and he bought Odin movie theaters for billions of dollars, he literally said, we're buying these for this amount and we're going to put in more money to make them better theaters. You mean to tell me I got to buy $2 billion worth of dead movie theaters and then invest more money and that's going to make it profitable? No way. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So no one knows how AMC ran, because I was in shock. I was like, wow, because I saw it go to 4. Like everyone knows, it went to 14, went back to 12. It was going. I was like, wow, 14, 50, it broke the resistance at 15. Then it went to 18, and then boom, it just took off. But I just kept on saying to myself, well, how did that just run? GME, which was not even relevant with AMC at that time, but it just ran. And I always wondered what made that stock run.
Well, some people have the theory that it's GameStop in the swaps. GameStop was running. GameStop was running that whole time frame.
Wait, I forget, was GameStop actually running with AMC?
AMC was running with GameStop. Don't ever forget it.
No, I got a lot of shares.
Come on, James. Come on, James.
No, I wasn't even paying attention because I saw AMC.
GameStop, man, you got to know this stuff. Go watch this video, okay? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to walk you to the video. Walk you to the video of the degenerate himself.
I me selling my shares because I had a lot of shares.
There's a video. There's a video of Matthew Kors live. Another thing you need to pay attention to. They had Matthew Kors and Trade Trades live on TV on the 2nd and the 3rd of June. They knew. They knew what was coming. They knew how it was going to run. They put these guys front and center on news. They flew them out. They put them in a hotel room. Well, Matt's the one who is live streaming from the hotel room because he has to. He's a degenerate. And you see him start buying calls on GameStop when it's at 270. He's like, oh my God, 270, it's running. Oh my God, it's at 290. AMC gets halted at 66 and GameStop still goes crazy for 20 minutes. And you're like, that's when you know it's the hedge. The minute they halt that damn thing, GameStop takes off. And it happened in real time.
Right.
We were all live. And you know what they do now? Now they halt them together. Now they don't halt them individually. Because if you did, it shows.
Rantz, I'll just get March 10th is my mother's birthday. That's how I know, because I remember I went to 340.
Yeah.
And I was going to a Jeep dealership place. And
347.
Whatever. And then all of a sudden it halted. It went down to 120, 140.
171. 171 closed out at 266 that day.
I mean, I'm an activist investor in GameStop, right? It doesn't even faze me the price, but like it goes up. Like I wasn't paying attention to GameStop. I don't care if GameStop went to $600. I just know that I was very wary looking at AMC going, how the hell is this going up? When I only seen it for the last year going like 5, 6, 8, back up to 9. But obviously I got rid of it. But the point I'm trying to make with AMC is, I'm just wondering from what you're telling me, you think it was coordinated with different people? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's coordinated. This is how far I think it is. I think they let it run so high that was the time where Adam Aaron goes to the board of directors of AMC and he says, you see, guys, you see what I control? You see what I do? Now make me the chairman of the board. And that's exactly what they did right after that. Right after that run. He got chairman of the board. So he knew he had total control of the people, and he's still doing it, and he can say whatever he wants. Hey, and they were partnering up with GameStop. Hey guys, do Say Technologies. Don't worry about it. It's good. Put your information in there. He's doing everything someone's telling him to do. Nothing he's coming up with himself. So, doing these propaganda pieces, this video shoot with Nicole Kidman and every damn photo op he can get. What will you guys tell me the last time Adam Aaron was doing a tour of the movie theaters and taking pictures with individuals watching the movies? Never.
So do you think that people on? I'm just confused with AMC after that, when everyone knew about it, and like the part that really beguiles me or whatever, like it just shocks me is that why would, like, what I know now, like, I mean, we all make bad trades in our lifetime. I think, right? I did. Everyone did, but. Like I'm just confused that if you look at the fundamentals, if you're in $5 billion debt, whatever the debt amount is,
it's
the
much more than that.
Whatever the amount, if you look before COVID, they were already sinking before COVID. So even if you look after COVID, you can't have like an amazing movie all the time. So your revenue is really not going to change. So what is the fundamental change, in my opinion, that I ask myself, why would this be a stock long term for me?
It'll never be.
The only reason why I got in was because of the hype, and it was like that was the thing back in the day. But GME was always the play, right? But the transformation for game, that's the reason why I can't figure this shit out. Like, I'm new to like Twitter and everything. Like, I'm like, am I being attacked by bots or like people? Like, you mentioned AMC and you got 1,000 people. You mentioned GME, you got one, right? And every time someone mentions AMC, you got 500 likes, and if you see GME, like, I don't know, I just feel very weird. But my thing is, I just think that when let's say the rocket does go off, AMC is like the bar. When the rocket goes up and the other part falls off, I think AMC will go up to a certain amount. If it does happen, not financial advice, but I'm just saying GME will go up. AMC is like anchoring the GameStop stock down because for some reason I really truly believe that. I've been watching it for over 2 years now. And I think AMC will finally actually, I think it has, honestly, when you look at it like every day and you look at it week to week, you start to question, is this really happening or is it not happening? Is it detached after the split? But I truly believe that AMC is definitely, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be real. I mean, this is for me personally. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, without a doubt.
James, hold that thought. So, if anyone joined the call the last few minutes, we talked about GameStop for an hour and a half, just so everybody knows. And the other thing is, Jeeps and Shepherds has been patiently waiting for their turn. So I want to make sure that Jeeps gets her chance to.
Jeeps, how you doing, hon? Come on in. She's good. Go ahead, Jeeps.
Oh, truly, just popped in to listen and see what all you guys were talking about. You guys know I never pop in to talk unless I've got something pertinent and relevant to say. And as always, I just enjoy spending time with everybody, and I hope everybody's had a wonderful day.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you just popped in to talk, so now you must have something pertinent to say, so go ahead. This is a joke, Jeeps. Don't worry.
No worries.
Yeah, no. I love you. I appreciate you as always. Guys, what we were going on there, and I know James was talking, if you're trying to get a better grasp of it, James, there's theories behind all of this. I don't get involved to the point where I got to go over there and beat them over the head with it. Like, I could be fighting other people's channels all damn day and be like, hey guys, listen, you're wrong. No, these guys do it themselves. I don't know if you guys have ever read the comments underneath pictures and posts, and somebody says, "Oh, I'm buying in at this price," and I'm, guys, if stocks start falling, you got to get out of them, but yet they don't ever say they're getting out of that one, right? So like, it doesn't make sense to me. For people that say they hold both or they support both, or hey, they're both manipulated, but yet you only promote one when you talk about it on Twitter and YouTube or Reddit, wherever you're talking, it kind of paints the picture for what the stock is. But I would tell you, be leery, be careful when people are giving out advice on what and how they feel what something is. I'm always a skeptic because I have to be. I can't come out here and say anything to people that I haven't done my homework on myself. I just can't. But you tell me about AMC and I'll tell you every last day of what happened over the last 2 years because I've lived it. I've lived it with you, and I pay attention to a lot of it more than I would other stocks. And only because it's sneaking up on me where people felt like like it was the buy, right? Like people still tell you, oh no, you think GameStop's big? Wait till AMC is manipulated or it's so big, and it's like, but go look at the engagements. If you really don't know how big it is, that's just to Jeeps, Dizzy, anyone here, EA, everyone in the chat that's talking. Go look at those channels where people are talking, and go look at the chat ratio, or go look at the amount of comments they get, or Twitter interactions. It might look like they might have 1,000 likes or 5,000 viewers, but when you look at the Twitter interaction or the messages themselves, it's like 20, 40, or that's a portion of the YouTuber. Like, I don't understand the metrics that Matt and Trey have almost 400,000 subscribers. And they have almost 400,000 subscribers. Every video they put out should have 10% of their views. Like, it should. It should have 10% of their viewership watching, and they don't. They do 1%. So it's like, well, what's real? That's why when people say, well, Marantz, you only have 1,000 to 2,000. It's like, yeah, I know. Like, I get it. It's 25% of my viewers and 50% of my subscribers. Because I know every single one. Out of the 4,000 whatever we have, I know every single guy, dude. I'm not joking with you guys. There's not a single person, lurker, whatever, I don't know. That's why I don't believe these guys. I don't believe that they hold what they hold. I don't believe that they're about what they're about. I don't, because I know the emails I get. Have you guys seen the emails where they tell you to promote such and such stock, crypto this, put this little widget on your webpage? They're going to pay me $2,000 a month to do this stuff. And you would think like, hey, he's a YouTuber. He needs the money. Like, those guys need the money. I don't do this shit for money. I literally do it for free. And I don't want to say free because someone's like, he made $1,700 last year. I'm so sorry. Put out 800 videos and made $1,700. Like $3 a video, $2 a video. Like, people got to calm down. We're putting out a lot of time and effort into doing homework and looking up to see what it is. And if there's value in that information, go grab it. Go hang out with it. But giving away tens of thousands of dollars in NFTs just to create adoption of the wallet and the marketplace, that's half of the battle, right? If I were into AMC, guys, just so you guys know, I would be live streaming or tweeting or doing everything from an AMC movie theater. That's how I would do it, because it's the only way I could benefit that company. I couldn't benefit that company by talking about Adam Aaron and his, giving his kids stock and how that's beneficial to the company, or the whole board of directors selling off and how that's a great thing. I could never do it. And yet there's people out here that have created spaces, and not just Twitter spaces. I'm talking about spaces in real time out here, and they're telling you, hey, this is the best investment you've ever seen. It's coming your way. I'm just telling you guys, I told you it'd be under $8 a share. I told everybody a month ago, and they all thought I was crazy. I mean, I had John Bennett in here trying to pull my hair out from the UK, willing to burn my children, eat them alive. And no, it's not going to happen. I know exactly what we're looking at, and so do you guys. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be around people that are actually intelligent. It's tough when I'm in those areas. But the last part I want to talk about, because I have not talked about this, Dizzy, was GameStop. Talked about everything in detail. Try to give you guys a rundown of what those are on the watch list. APE and AMC, they run together. And what I mean by they run together is, well, there is one little thing. If I buy AMC today, I don't get APE. That's my problem. When people try to piece them together and tell you the value of them, it's as if there are no new buyers into AMC today. And if you kept buying AMC even after the split, what do you get? You get a stock that's held hostage by APE unit. Therefore, what is my value? I have none. Why would I ever want to buy it? That's why you will not find a buyer for these shares of APE. You won't, because you know that it never has to become AMC shares. They never have to vote on it. They can leave them right where they're at. And if they're worth $1 a piece, even if they're worth $1 a piece, who has $500 million to put in? Who? Who has $50 million to put into this company? I'm waiting for this answer, because they couldn't sell them at $3 and $2, and they were actual shares of AMC, not just APE units. So don't believe the hype you see out here, guys. Be very fearful. They've partnered up with certain short hedge funds that are in turn owned by Citadel as well. Citadel has ownership in Mudrick, as well as HYMC. Like, I'm not buying in on that stuff. I'm buying in with Ryan Cohen. He's the one who's willing to talk shit about Boston Consulting Group. He's the one who's willing to come out here and tweet out some bullshit, but at the same time, he's not giving away his game plan. He's very quiet. And like in the words of Mark Vadden, he says, When you strike oil, you don't wave your hands and tell everyone to look at me, look at me. You keep quiet and you keep getting that money. And that's just paraphrasing. But right now we struck oil. We have an NFT marketplace. We have partnerships that no one knows about. And GameStop at $25 is a phenomenal buy. That is a damn giveaway. And that's just because you're buying 1 share a day or you're buying 2 shares a day, however you want to do it. If you're buying 100 shares a week, I don't care. I don't know how much money you guys have. I don't care. I just know that I'm going to keep buying and I'm going to be on your side about it. But I know that we got to go eat dinner tonight. We got to get going. I know we've been here for a long time. Just clarifying where we're at and the battle we're in. But I love Bed Bath & Beyond at under $6. I love GameStop at any price, and I hate the rest. I really do. Even Costco at $4.40, $4.60, I'm not buying. I'm buying GameStop because the value's there. I'll buy Bed Bath & Beyond when it gets to my price points that I feel good about. Maybe I start buying that 1 share a day. But that market cap is not enough. The market cap's at $600 to $500 million. The company's worth more than that, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. And it's real. So we'll see how it all plays out in due time. I always want to thank Dizzy for these spaces and this opportunity to talk to everybody. I know we have a Twitter crew. I know we have a GameStop crew, a YouTube crew, but everyone is welcome to see these channels and this talk. This will go up on live on YouTube. You guys can watch it again if you've missed any part of it. It's currently recording live right now. We've already had over 175 people on that end, another 100 people here on Twitter. And guys, average view duration, just so you know, because I know I don't give you all the metrics, the average person watches this channel for 25 minutes straight. It's one of the highest. So I appreciate you guys for that. It's unreal. It's not like people are just clicking in and clicking out. You guys get all the info. You guys take it all in. You guys retain the information. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Sunday. We have a football game to watch because it looks like Denver Broncos are going to get their ass whooped in a bit, or they already probably are. But other than that, guys, I'm live tomorrow morning. Rise and shine. Watch the markets tank. Actually, no. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rebound. I think these guys are going to get stuck. I think it's a bear trap starting tomorrow. But I thank you guys in advance for everything, guys. That's my parting side of it. Dizzy, did you have anything else you want to say? Before you speak, Dizzy, I'm giving anyone else out in the crowd on Twitter, if you want to get pulled up and say anything, it is your floor to also get pulled up. So that's Garrick, Inculus, anybody who's out there. I see all you guys in the chat right now. Good ass people. Herb Tonic, Bert, a great ass dude, and High Rider, my main man, and Almo, my right hand man. Big difference. So anything else you guys want to say, you guys can. It's 7-0 right now, San Francisco. Oh, good. Then I predicted it right. I'm gonna go back to playing some games on here. I'm gonna play some League of Legends like I was playing. That's what I do on a Sunday. But I gotta have dinner with the wife and everything else. But Dizzy, what you got for me?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you and thank everyone for being here and listening with us. We talked about a lot of different things. I actually had like a topics outline today, so it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we have some different personalities in here, and it's interesting, just to hear all this kind of. Okay, so in design thinking, they call it idea sex. It's like where you have all these different, concepts people bring in, and like from all over, and basically brains are having sex. It's a stupid design thing. It sounds stupid when I say it, and.
Oh, anyway. That sounded great. That's the first time I ever heard you say the word. All right.
I know to some people I can come across as like really like conservative and like standoffish about all that stuff.
No, you come across as like a tree hugger that wears like long johns to bed, and
what?
Yeah, that's how I view it. And you probably don't brush your hair. You probably just put it in a braid, and you probably eat some like salads. Like you don't eat meat. That's how you come across. I'm just telling you how you come across, bro. Just letting you know.
I'm the opposite of whatever you say.
And you wear socks to bed. That's what I'm guessing.
Hell no! I got something against those people.
Oh yeah, those people. That's what you're calling them. That's you. I'm pretty sure, bro. I'm painting the picture right now. What did this say? This will bring millions of gamers to blockchain. Great. We're all going to get to blockchain. We're all going to do microtransactions. We're all going to do it. I'm so excited, man. We're going to make it one penny at a time, guys. I buy this penny stock any day of the week. That's how excited I am.
I thought you said panty, like granny pennies. I was like, one penny.
Oh, we already know that part.
Penny.
We already know that part. We know exactly what you're doing when you go to bed, and that's on you. I want to tell you. So.
Or all day long, bro.
Oh, that's gross.
Not just at bed. Whatever.
All right, bro.
It was remote work. I was comfortable.
Hey,
whatever.
remote work.
Yeah,
Do you own a pair of Crocs? Let me ask you that.
No, not the traditional type, but
Thank
the flip
God.
flop type. Yes.
You own? Are they Crocs though? Like the brand?
They're the Crocs. Look, they've diversified. Okay, it's not just that ugly ass looking wedge looking thing anymore.
Bro,
It's,
if you wear the Crocs, you can't hang out with me. I have disowned 3 of my children because they own Crocs. Swear to God, I told them all.
I'll send you a picture of these flip flops.
Yeah, you well.
Okay, I wanna say to everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your secondhand Crocs. Crocs, I got you.
I just want to say, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop, and see you around, millionaires.
Oh wow, you're really gonna take that, bro?
Yeah.
Somebody sue
I'm
this
so cute.
chick. Somebody sue this chick. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. I appreciate you guys, and don't forget, GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. I'm gonna see you around, millionaires. Peace.
See ya, millionaires.
Goddamn
Bye, everyone.
thief. This thief. Love you,
See
bro.
ya, man.
I'll see you. All right, guys. I gotta get going. I'm gonna play some games later. You know how to find me, and you know what it is. And no feet pics. Get that shit out of here. All right, bro. Late. Oh, hot this year. Run it back. It's only like 2 hours long. Oh shit. I dropped everything. Hey, you guys know about this cup? You see this cup right here? This was made for me. It was a gift to me. This is amazing. I just couldn't be more happy. All right, like.